Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rather gloomy Sunday that we have here. Bowler's paradise. But we're going to see if indeed it will be the case as we take a look at the CSA Knockout Challenge. Division 2 cricket hosted here in Benoni, Willowmoore Park. This broadcast brought to you by Pitch Vision, and we're coming to you live ball by ball on the Cricket South Africa YouTube channel. In commentary for week number 3 of the Knockout Challenge, it's myself, Mpumalanga, but I am greeted by a man who knows this ground better than most people alive, Gordon Matheson.
Impendula, thank you. Thanks for that welcome. Yeah, and you say a bit of a gloomy Sunday. It was a bit of a gloomy start. We've just had a bit of a moment of silence. The match officials and the players going out, and Radebe, obviously the tragic passing of Radebe, the head groundsman here at Willowmoore Park on Friday in rather tragic circumstances. Our condolences and prayers go out to the family and friends and that. So I think Easterns will obviously have a little bit of extra something to play for. But be that as it may, all condolences to the Radebe family. If I'm just running through the teams here quickly, just 2 changes here in terms of what the teams have done. Mpumalanga have decided to not go with John Henriksen, and they've gone with Herman Rolfes, and Grant Thompson rolled the ankle during the week, which brings Mark Pearce into the Eastern side as we watch the first ball being bowled.
Gareth Dukes starting it off for the Mpumalanga Rhinos, and it's a really tragic way to start the weekend, but it's always about how they're going to end it, and if Easterns are able to bring that victory home, at least there'll be something to smile about over the course of the weekend.
Easterns have played some seriously good cricket. They're 2 from 2 at the moment, and as they help it along there, short ball bowled by Gareth Dukes with 45 up inside the circle, so not too sure about that plan. Goes over the head of 45, and they decide to drop him back to fine leg now, bowling to Gabelo Sekakune, who's had a really, really good last match in terms of some runs there. Really nicely, he batted really nicely there against Esvedia. Gets the Eastern score underway. He's partnered by Chris Brits, who has come up from Northern Cape, as Dukes sends a wide down the leg side there to Sekakune. Dukes, he is bowling into a bit of a stiff breeze here this afternoon. I remember the last time I was here with the SAA game, there was quite a stiff breeze. That breeze looks like it has stayed, and Dukes bowling in right into the teeth of it. So really hard work here for Gareth Dukes.
With all of those conditions, it makes sense that after the Rhinos won the toss, they elected to bowl first.
Was a tinge of green, fresh wicket. They've moved on to number 4, which is one of the middle strips. Obviously, with everything going on with the groundsman and everything like that, Brendan Frost has jumped in, and he's come and helped the guys out a little bit. So yes, there is a bit of a tinge of green here at Willowmoore, and sometimes that tinge of green actually means a bit of pace onto the ball, which I'm sure the batters will, and as well as the bowlers will enjoy.
Brendan Frost from the Wanderers, but he's a local boy, started here for nearly 2 decades, so he knows the conditions and what brings good cricket indeed.
You talk about someone knowing the ground. There's no one better than Brendan Frost knowing the conditions. Yeah. I actually, sort of tongue in cheek today, said to him if he could prepare half as decent a wicket as he did on Friday night for the Titans-Lions clash, he would be okay.
But it's good pace coming on to Gabelo Sekakune here, bowled by Gareth Dukes. Even that short ball that went for the first boundary just rushed Sekakune, and it got good bounce onto it. As we see the end of the first over, It's just one boundary and a couple of extras. 6 for no loss.
I could definitely see a short ball game plan there to Sekakune. You had your deep backward square leg back and your fine leg back. There was a wide in the over, which so here's the actually the last ball of the over in Pendulo, but
it's just another thing for the bowlers to think about now. Chris Britt's much taller, also a right-handed batter, hence the shuffling around with the fielders changing position. Here's the last ball of the over.
There's that pace and bounce that you spoke around, isn't it? You can see the Mpumalanga team there opting for 2 slips straight away, which is just tells you that there might be something within that wicket.
It's a really good delivery to the right-handers. We actually saw signs that something like this was going to happen with the ball going onto the hips of Kabelo Sekukune, who's the left-hander. Surely Dukes will be eyeing and praying to be bowling to Chris Brits to begin his next over so that he can extract that movement away from the right-hander, hence why he has those 2 slips.
Temba Mahupa comes on from the Ekurhuleni end, bowling with the breeze here. Here's a little bit of a chat. Captain Mayet with what the game plan is here. Game plan for Mahupa is a little bit different to Dukes. They've opted for a deep backward point and a deep backward square leg, bringing a short third into the ring and 45 inside the ring.
Very skillful seamer is Temba Mahupa. He's going to dish it right up there, try to get some movement off the surface. And it's a great single taken by Sekukune. Everyone's just almost hovering on that 30-yard circle. No one behind the wickets, just pocketing it for 1.
I don't know who Temba Mahupa supports as a soccer team, but it wasn't a great finish with his left boot there, was it? But the idea was the right one to get it in quickly to the stumps. Let's see how they go here to Chris Brits.
That's why he has ball in hand and not ball in feet, rather. And they'll be hoping that with that ball in hand, maybe they're going to get that breakthrough. It's so good for a bowling team, especially after winning the toss, where conditions seem like they're going well for you, to get that early breakthrough, to just justify your toss election. Oof, really good bounce and zip and carry.
Some proper pace in that. Although, if I must be honest, I don't quite understand that line. He's got the deep backward square leg and the fine leg back out. Last thing you want as a captain is to get cut over the third man sort of region. So he needs to just adjust his line here, Mahupa.
Ooh, really rushing the batter. Sekukune is sharp and aware. Did score 84 in the previous game versus Southwestern Districts, as you alluded to, Gordon. Played really well. He showed signs of his form even from the start of pre-season when he scored that 100 in the very first game of that momentum challenge that was just played in Centurion, and it seems like that is following through now into the season.
I think that's one of the things that the Easterns team have been doing well. So it's not one man who's been scoring their runs. KB Sekukune has chipped in with a couple. Brits as they take another quick single there. KB he's gotten some runs. Brits has gotten some runs. Grant Thompson, who unfortunately is not playing today, rolled his ankle during the week. He's gotten some runs. So it's from a coaching perspective, sometimes that's nice when you got a couple of guys contributing, rather than just 1 or 2 batters. As that leg side field goes out for Brits again, deep backward and fine leg.
Oh, just leaning back, using his hands and the pace of Mahupa to just guide it over that open slip cordon and over the top of the wicketkeeper for really well played 4 runs by Brits.
Like a slip catch practice in the morning. I know it's a T20 and you're not practicing too many of those, but when Red Bull season rolls around, that's the slip catching practice that you're doing there. change in field. Yeah, the fine leg has come up and third man has gone back.
It's exactly what you were speaking to a couple of balls ago. The line that he's bowling, given the field that has been placed for him, doesn't want the player or the batter playing anything on that offside square of the wickets because there's no protection. Another good delivery, just following it up. But to be all fair to Maupa, it was a really good ball, but it was excellently played by Chris Brits to just open up that space and guide it over the top. He ends up with the very same ball to close the over. Really good start from Maupa, but it was fought back well by the Easterns. It's 13 for no loss after 2. Sturdy and steady start here for the Eastern Storm. You want to go through the power play, having lost as little wickets as possible. And it only seems like the movement is coming from Gareth Dukes so far.
Into this breeze, he will definitely get it to shape back into Sekhukhune here. He's opted to go round the wicket to him. Sekhukhune actually walks into his line there.
I actually like this idea with having the ball coming into the left-hander and away to the right-hander, coming around the wicket to the left-hander to just close off more of his room and create that more attacking line towards the stump. It's just going to be interesting to see how he's going to work it. Is it going to be wider? Is it going to be attacking straighter? Ginger shot, gingerly played as well from Kabelo Sekhukhune at that time.
I don't think he's expecting that line, is it? With the deep backward and fine leg out, he was expecting something more into the body. So to get something like that would have been a gift. I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself for missing out there. But it's also going to be interesting to see how Sekhukhune goes about it. Does he, as Dukesy comes back over the wicket?
Just wrapping onto the pads of Sekhukhune. He takes the first one very quickly. He's not going to get the second one. Akulila Mkatu is there to stop it at fine leg. It's one leg buys.
You alluded to the pace a little bit earlier in Pendula. It's massively evident to see that. Couple of guys who are really good on the short ball is Sekhukhune. For him to get wrapped on the thigh pad just tells you about the pace on the surface.
And they are playing on a different surface, like you said.
Yeah, fresh wicket. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell from the way that the ball is just moving so far. It's just coming onto the bat so lovely. Brits using the pace of the ball to guide it down to the deep cover. They question a second, but it's really good fielding down into deep to keep that to 1.
Fielder there doing the work is Shane Dadswell, who actually played and captained Easterns last year, so it'd be interesting to see how he goes about it. He would know a little bit of the ins and outs in terms of the way Easterns would want to approach their game, so interesting to see how they welcome him.
Very well played from Sekhukhune, but straight to the hands of cover. Speaking of Shane Dadswell, not only did he just come from the Easterns, he also had a nice stint with the Pretoria Capitals in the SA20, and starting now with the T20 challenge. All of that experience with the players that he was interacting with surely should come with some positivity towards the Rhino setup.
100% the thinking. As Dukes fires one down the leg side, gets it slightly wrong, wider there by umpire Gaz.
Just been a cautious start here from Sekhukhune and Chris Brits. We know that when they want to take it on, they can really go for it. But you appreciate the tentative start in trying to keep their wickets. Really well bowled as it takes off the pace. But it's not just the preserving of their wickets. You can see that they're trying every now and then to take those ones, take those twos to keep the score ticking. That's why after 3 overs, they're on 16 for no loss.
So often in the half-held conditions, what happens is you want wickets in hand at the back end. It's when the wicket's at its best, and the ball comes onto the bat quite nicely. And if you look at someone like a Libba and Pierce walking in at the back end, you'd want to set something like that up. So if you lay a good foundation, allows players like that to come in and play nice and freely.
It also gives them the time to assess how the fresh pitch is playing. So the longer they get to spectate, the easier it will be for them to kind of play their way into the match. Ooh. But on top of that, the players walking out, having lost their wicket, if they stick in for a long time, they'll give better insight to the batters who are yet to come. Of course, from a coaching perspective, you want the players to stay in and not lose their wickets. But every con has its positives. Wide, played beautifully, played absolutely exquisitely from Chris Britz. Same body movement, leaning away from the ball to just create more space, and he smashes it over the top of the point region into the boundary for 4.
I think this is what Mayet is trying to get through to Mahupa here. I think you can see the game plan's quite clear in terms of that short ball, but we don't want to be missing and allowing Chris Britz to really free his arms up too easily. That's what they don't want.
Did score 82 in the first game of the season. Chris Britz is the Eastern's leading run scorer in these first 2 games, partnered by the second leading run scorer in Kabelo Sekhukhune. And it's like you said, when the one guy doesn't fire, the other guy will fire. So it will be interesting if they both get to fire. It's certainly what Easterns will want, especially after losing the toss and being put into bat first. Now Maupa has only had 2 deliveries to Sekhukhune so far. They've both been nice and full. Very full this time, but so wonderful. The wrists from Sekhukhune, just opening up the face of the blade, allowing the ball to bounce on the bat, and he guides it through that short third man for a wonderfully played 4.
Yet again, a little bit of a captain killer here. So we've got the deep backward square out and the wide third man. You're getting hit in areas where you're not protected. Hooper needs to try and end this over strong here. Easton's made as you said, a bit of a cautious start, but a good start, and almost looks like there's a plan. Yeah, now third man goes back into normal. Deep point comes up. Almost a plan, a ball here.
You see the idea, but even still, it needs to be executed. They bring back the man at deep point, push back the man at third man, saying Sekhukhune, play that shot again, and he does so, and he beats the man. So well done.
I think that's the pace in the wicket. He had 5 yards to move to his left there. He really struggled to get there. Who's that down there? Akulile Makatu.
Feels like Maupa's just trying a little bit of too many things at once here. But apart from that, it's the Storm batters who are piling the pressure back on towards him.
But even if you look at that delivery wide of the stumps, any bat there, you're asking for a hell of a lot of trouble.
And this is especially since you've brought back the man who's standing at deep backward point, who covers that exact shot. So how is he going to close it off?
That is very,
That
very wide.
looks not so good indeed. Extra juice on the wicket.
So Kakuna hasn't been blessed with much height, but he needed a step ladder to play that.
So high. Maybe that's what he was trying to do in the previous delivery. Get it short and get it wide to try and access that third man again. Much better. But superbly done from Sekhukhune. They take 16 runs from that Mauba over. Might see Mauba take a break. It's 32 for no loss after 4 overs.
That's often the case in T20 cricket. You say a bit of a cautious start, 1 over, all of a sudden kick-starts the innings. Guys were going there at around 6 to the over, all of a sudden they're looking at touching 9s. Going to be a bowling changer from the shallow end. It's like Herman Rolfes coming into the attack. Quite a skiddy bowler, has got that ability to hit the bat slightly harder than what you think. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, trying to win the power play back for the Rhinos, yeah?
Always in the bowler's ear. Just trying to make sure that the plans get executed. These two right here, the last match versus Southwestern District, they put on a mammoth opening partnership with 133 runs. So the Rhinos know exactly that getting one of them will be so crucial in just breaking open the rest of the batting order. But here comes Rolfs. It's a little bit short. Wonderful shot from Sekhukhune. He muscles it over that third man region and it goes for a boundary.
Wonderful to hear some noise here at Willowmoore Park here on a Sunday. If you're in the area, please do come down and watch some Division 2 cricket. Division 2 cricket has been really sort of competitive over the last 2 years. So even if you look at the start of this T20 comp, it has been really, really competitive. So nice to see some decent cricket. Field change there for Rolfes. Third man goes back.
Oh, he's halfway down the track. Chris Briggs was in deep trouble. He was in major trouble, but he finds his way back. They've been running so well between the wickets, and for the first time, that miscommunication almost costing them. This time it's clear, it's crystal clear. The fans are enjoying the hard work from Sekhukhune and Brits. They move to 37.
I'm just talking about those partnerships that they were building. Obviously, there's a sense of trust. Can be broken in one instance.
It's that pressure where you always tell your fielders, walk in with the bowler. It sounds so primary school like. Walk in with the bowler, pressure on the batsman. But that's really what it is. When you're tapping in that one for a pocket.
There's that extra pace that we spoke around where it doesn't look like he's just ambling in and then all of a sudden he really lets one go. What teams will do in terms of tactics is, you know, if they've squeezed for 3 or 4 balls, the inner ring will actually allow the guys to take a 1 to them and actually win the over rather than go for the boundary. So if you look at what the guys have done here, they Mpumalanga Rhinos, they are squeezing.
But they still find a way to take these singles. The problem is, it's not. Neither of the batters are being bogged down to one end. Chris Brits is on 11 from 11. Sekukune has hit some boundaries, so whenever you think you've bogged him down, he finds a way to up the scoring rate. They've taken 6 runs from the over, and the over seemed rather very relaxed and pedestrian, but it's doing the damage.
That's the value of getting 4 with the first ball. All of a sudden, a couple of singles in the over, and you're fairly happy as a batting unit.
They take 7 from that 5th one. Starting off with a wonderful boundary from Sekukune. They take 3 extra runs. They are now on 39 for the loss of 5. But we're just starting off the season, and there's a lot more cricket to go. The Proteas men will be taking on the current ICC T20 Men's World Cup champions, India, in November for a 4-match T20 series. Do not miss out. Will South Africa get their vengeance from that heartbreaking final? Get your tickets at www.cricket.co.za. Hashtag Wozanawe. Hashtag be part of it.
As Yika comes into the attack to close out the power play here for the Rhinos.
Change of pace is going to be interesting to see how the surface is going to help out the spinners. Seeing extra pace and extra bounce from the pace bowlers, especially coming down that chalet end. Now
Sekukune is rather renowned for his reverse sweeping, so they've gone straight away with a deep backward point and a deep backward square leg. As we talk about it, the reverse sweep comes out straight away.
And the issue now is that he can hit the sweep on both sides of the field. Both a conventional and a reverse sweep. They take the backward point even finer now.
Does he go down the track the next ball and try and... No.
Oh, they take a really sharp single.
That is just too easy though. Padula, isn't it? You can see you in the last over, you also just having a look at that. Fielder inside the ring, ball going straight to the fielder there. Captain Mayet. That is just too easy.
And the trust between Brits and Sekukune deserved of praise here. They know exactly when it is time to go for one. And with that left-right combination, short-tall combination as well. Yika comes in, a line which would have worked, so Sekukune is wide to Brits. Indeed, Gordon. Quite easy.
It is, again, a bit of a coach killer that. It is way too easy then. Chris Brits, Pretoria-based, Pretoria, did his schooling in Pretoria, then went down to Northern Cape, spent a season down there with him. It's been really, really good value for the Easterns.
Goes for a conventional shot this time. Where do you try and stop his runs? You protect the offside, he goes to the leg side. Another good boundary from Sekukune.
He's carrying on his form from from the last game against Esvia.
He's really turning into a crowd favourite here in Easterns. They love him so much.
When he bats like that, I mean, it's difficult not to. 2 more balls left in the power play here. See how they try and close it out.
Maybe a bit of a risky shot, that one. Although it's a shot he's very comfortable playing as
He's
well.
only got that 45 to beat. And then I think he knows he's actually right. So he's weighing up his options and saying that's quite a low risk option.
Ooh! Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That is a monster hit from Sekukune. And what a stylish way to bring up 50 for the Eastern Storm.
I've watched a lot of cricket here at Willowmoore Park, and that is the first time that I've seen a reverse hit go onto that yellow roof. I've seen a lot of hooks and pulls, but a reverse hit, I've never seen that. Absolutely outrageous batting. Really, really good to see there from Sekakune.
I rate Gordon. That didn't even touch the roof. It sailed over that. That was monstrous. Dynamites come in small packages indeed. Kabele Sekakune is flying in his form. No right for that ball to go where it did. Oh, but the timing is just so sweet. 52 for no loss. That's the end of the power play.
Sekakune there, 34-24. Chris Bitts being the Robin to Sekakune's Batman at the moment, 12 of 12. But like you said, it's all about the partnerships. Their partnership is 52. Current run rate there, 9.5 with no wickets down. Really, really good base here for the eastern side to try and really put the Mpumalanga bowlers to the sword here in the last 14 overs.
It's interesting. It's something that you spoke about before we started the broadcast, Gordon, about how grass on this Benoni pitch can be rather deceptive. There's good bounce, there's good pace if you are able to bowl the ball in the right areas. But it is because of that grass maybe that it puts the batters into a good advantage.
If I must be honest, I think the Mpumalanga bowlers they've missed the stumps way too often. You know, we talk about hugging off stump as much as what you can. With that extra pace, if you missing the wickets, it does become too easy, and you, as you can see there, same sort of thing. And the running between these two has also been absolutely phenomenal. They've taken singles at will, so that partnership never ever stagnates. It just keeps ticking along. And with the odd boundary and the odd absolutely outrageous shot over the roof, all of a sudden that partnership builds quite nicely.
Can't help but feel like the pace bowlers fell for the classic pace on the wicket trap, where you start bowling a touch a bit shorter, touch a bit wider, trying to get that extra pace which the pitch has already given you, and then you miss out on trying to hit the stumps. You try to outpace the batter out, which really works.
So Rolfus here has got 3 back on the legs for Sekakune. Helps to give himself room, run it down to third man.
Even with the first over from Gareth Dukes, a lot of the balls were being played on the hips. A lot of the balls from Maupa were being played on the torso. Very rarely did we see the batters actually engage that front foot. So maybe your assertion may be correct. Again, here it's just a little bit shorter. Gets a thick edge. If there was a slip, they would have been interested, but there's none, and it runs for 4.
That's what I was saying with my comment just now. Again, it's missing the stumps way by too big a margin for me. With that extra pace, even the edge is going to fly down to the boundary. I mean, Willowmoore Park is renowned for being a really good scoring ground. Boundaries here aren't too big. Outfield is quite quick. They're in the middle of the square, so we've got to try and from a Mpumalanga side try and hit the stumps a little bit more. There we go. That's what we're asking for from Mpumalanga point of view. From Eastern's point of view, you're obviously saying you can keep missing those stumps. We're happy with what's been dished out to us.
They'll be happy here since the power play is also over. The Rhinos, they now can have more protection on the boundaries using that deep third man and fine leg alongside deep backward square, and the man at deep cover. There's no one there. The ball just bounces in front of the man standing at long on. Didn't get the meat of that. Chris Brits will be happy for a change that he didn't time it.
Is that pace in the wicket? Pace in the wicket, and we spoke a little bit about Herman Rolfus being a little bit more skiddy than what you think. Evidence there, into the wind, Still able to splice Chris Brits there. But no harm, no foul. Easterns move on to 59 for naught after 7. Going at just under 9s here. Really, really good platform laid. As Akulile Mkatu comes into the attack. Now he's one of those bowlers that it does bring the stumps into play. A little bit of an in drifter, in swinger as a bowler.
Let's see after 7 overs if he'll be able to bring it back. Gareth Dukes started well. He's very stingy with his runs. Yeka going for 13, only getting 1 over. Temba Maupa was quite expensive for his final, which is why he was cut, going for 11 to the over.
Mkatu has also gone for that leg side field, deep backward square car corner, long on out, long off, and a cover sweeper. And if they'd hit, that would have been really, really close. We've been giving their running some props, but that looked really, really dangerous. And I think that that might have been the end of Sekukune if that did hit.
Well, it was Chris Birds earlier on who almost lost his wicket, and now almost Sekukune losing his wicket. 1 of 1. The Rhinos losing both their chances. They've reached a jubilee of runs. 60 for no loss.
As Mkatu to the left hander here, he goes with 4 now out on the legs, with a cover sweeper, mid off and extra cover up, goes round the wicket. And Sekukune says, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you over your short third man, but misses in the process, and looks quite bemused at how he actually missed that. Sekukune in again. Oh, Mkatu in. Taps it into the leg side. He sets off for 2. And they have taken that 2. Really, really good running here from Sekukune again. Gareth Dukes doing the fielding. They're getting the ball in, but obviously not quick enough. Sekukune a little hair between the wickets here. Chat here between Mayet, the captain, and Akulile Mkatu in terms of, are you happy with your plan? Mkatu goes around the wicket again to Sekukune. Goes for that reverse again and misses again. He's definitely favouring that option with third man inside the ring. I think he's thinking to himself, if he gets just a little bit of bat on that, it's going to fly away. No change to the field. Mkatu still around the wicket here. As Sekukune walks into his line, slaps that to the deep backward point. Batters trot through for 1. A lot more conventional and a lot more safe one, should be said there. Chris Blitz comes on to strike for the last ball of the 8th over. Eastern Storm move on to 63 without a loss. As there's a conversation going on with the players now, they realise there was 5 inside the circle. Not that you're not allowed 5, but with the way Easterns are scoring, they would like all 5 of their fielders out. As Chris Brits stuns that one into the ground, rolls to back at point, Yasa Cook, and they trot through for the single. Score moves on to 64 without loss after the 8 overs here. 12 overs to go here for Eastern Storm. No wickets lost. This is a really, really good place to be as the batting team. A lot of chats between the overs here in terms of the Mpumalanga side as to what we're going to do. It looks like Dads will. Former Eastern's boys coming into the attack.
Another key thing that we take a look at here. They've gotten rid of their attacking fielders. There's no one really hugging the surface. Given the pace of the wicket as well, it makes sense. So it seems as if the Rhinos are now just waiting for the batters to try go big and make a mistake and be caught on the boundary lines.
Damage control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically what you're trying to do here. If memory serves me correct with Easterns, I think out of 170 wicket, as Dads will into the attack, rolls his finger over that, tries to take a bit of pace off. That's it's good thinking. Obviously, with the amount of pace that's in the surface, he's decided to take pace off. I'm sure last year Dadswell and Sekakune would have bowled and batted a lot against each other in the net, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. Yeah,
The style of cricket that Sekakune is batting today signifies the pace in the wickets. You don't play like that if there's not that much pace you can use. And with Garrett Dukes going at less than 5 runs to the over, we saw in his second over he experimented a lot with the variation of his pace.
oh, there's a inside edge, just narrowly past the inside edge, off stump, should I say? But it's another cutter from Dadswell. He's obviously seen pace on here is way too easy for the batters. Taking pace off here. Again, it's pace off. Beats that man at backward point. Fielder's got work to do. He can't do it. Goes for 4. That's what we were saying just now with the value of shot here at Willowmoore Park.
It's a rocket outfield.
As Sekakune gets cheers from his corner again. The crowd's really coming to watch him bat. Hasn't disappointed as yet, so I'm sure they're going to want him to carry on. As he walks right across to off-stump, well, I say off-stump, it's probably half and half outside. Ball bounces once before car corner. They trot through for the single. Brings Brits onto strike here. As Easterns move up to 70. 70 without loss.
Those are the opportunities they're waiting for here, the Rhinos. Closing the face of the bat just a little bit, Sekakune. So easily could have just opened it up and tried for a 6. Doesn't reach the fielder.
Pace off. It's tapped into the leg side. They scurry across. But just a single this time. Ben Fenike picks up there at 45 on the leg side. As Sekakune comes on to strike again.
It's just that pace on delivery that he pushed a little bit too wide. Yika couldn't stop it at backward point. Neither could Gareth Dukes despite his efforts.
Yeah, he's eyeing out that leg side, isn't he? Sometimes batters will look that way and then pull out the reverse sweep again, isn't it? No. And he's held out. And he's held out. He's done all the hard work and then unfortunately just given it away, Sekakune. And yeah, that is so poor from him to get out in that way. After doing all the hard work. Held out at car. Shane Dadswell comes on, makes the strike. Former Eastern's boy.
Can't help but feel like it was a little bit of an ego shot. Previous ball, I was like, I'm going to take it there. Couldn't get it there. The next ball, he still thinks, I'm going to get it there. You saw how he was positioned. He was basically standing on 4th stump. He was determined to hit it onto that cow corner. Dadswell releases some of that pace and he bowls it a bit slower. Doesn't get to him as much as he wanted to. Tries to muscle it to the cow corner, and where the previous one didn't carry, the next one right on the laps. And he loses his wickets to a shot where he could have played something a little bit more different as over number 9 comes to an end.
Batters will always tell you know if that the middle of the batter was 6. So that is the margins that we're dealing with here as Mark Pearce walks to the crease. Mark Pearce himself is a bit of a go-getter. He doesn't really hold back. Likes to play his shots.
Well, Sekukun and Brits have shown that you can get your shots and play them. But if anything, Dazzle has shown the bowlers that pace off might be the way to go.
Mkatu after that first over only going for 5 comes in again. And he pushes one down the leg side. Very, very wide.
Now it's going to be easier work bowling to both right-handers. But now the question is, what type of gameplay are the next set of partnerships going to be like for the Eastern Storm? They've played well to set up a strong platform going at 8 runs to the over. If they continue at this, lucky for that not being overthrows from Dukes. If they continue at this vein, 160, 180 is on the cards.
Mkatu bowls one into the pads. They trundle through there for the leg bar. Signal there by umpire Stadler. Brings Chris Britz onto strike. 22 of 21 today. And he gets a little bit of nip. That's what we were saying. The closer you get to that off stump, the better it is. I think the Mpumalanga bowlers have just been a little bit off that boil today, if we must be honest. Mkatu not necessarily having the pace of the rest of the attack. Gets one to go past Chris Britz.
We've hardly seen many of those deliveries.
As Mkatu goes down the leg side again.
Apart from that, it's only been Rolfes who's been bowling those deliveries, trying to be as close to the stumps as possible. He's been the one who's just been making Chris Britz miss the ball on that outside edge, the oohs and ahs. And it's all deliveries in and around that area.
Mkatu wraps him on the pads. They go through. He hits the stumps, but batters are safely home. Obviously, with the 4 outs on the legs, Mkatu has to be fairly straight, but he doesn't want to slide it down the leg side like he has been doing. That's a much better line, that last ball. Much better line. 2 balls to go in this over.
Well, Mark Pearce, if any of the deliveries Mkatu has been bowling, just going down the pads, he'll be happy if he receives any of those, but shockingly enough, they're still giving him a lot of room on the leg side. No change in the field despite him being new.
Into the pads, knocked up to mid-on. Pearce gets off the mark there with a little easy one to mid-on. Mayet comes across and just collects the ball. Last over here from Mkatu. He's actually been quite effective. As I said, he doesn't have the pace necessarily of the bowlers, the other bowlers who've been on show today. Might be a bit more difficult to get him away. as Brits knocks it into the leg side. Dadswell collects, does the fielding. They get through for 2. And brings the 10th over to a close. 78 here for 1. As we were saying just now in Pendula, the base is really set here for the batters. And often what happens in your T20 cricket, your overs 7 to 12 is where the game is in essence won and lost. You know, so many teams are doing a lot of power hitting for the power play. They're doing a lot of hitting at the back end, so it almost cancels each other out. It's what you can do in those middle overs. Are you prepared to run hard and with all the fielders back? How are you prepared to go about it? Because the other two areas of the game actually cancel each other out. Dadswell back in.
With the kind of start that the Easterns have had 52 at the end of their power play, 52 for no loss, importantly. You want for those overs as well, if you had such a good start, to sustain that start as well. Their current run rate is just a smidgen below 8, so you'd say that losing 1 wicket, they're still keeping it at a decent nick.
As Dadswell takes pace off again, gets knocked into the leg side. They're looking for the 2. Oh, it's like an unkind bounce. They're just in front of the square. Dadswell not happy with the 2 there.
It's really good running, asking for a lot for your fielder to try and stop that.
As it goes out, the same man with a lot more power this time.
If they ran to on that, then you can complain.
Fair point. Fair point.
It's actually what Chris Brits has been doing very well. He was under the shadow of Kabelo Sekhukhune because Sekhukhune was just hitting the ball in very extravagant ways. In the shadows, what Brits has been...
There's a Shah at the bowler's end, and he's gone. Mayet keeps his cool, really gets the ball in nicely to Dadswell, and there's that indecision.
Can't help but feel like Brits ran himself into trouble with that one. Just a bit too eager to keep those 1s and 2s going because Pierce hit it straight to the man at point.
When Sekhukhune were in, they were taking those ones though. Pierce not interested at all in those ones.
Loses his wickets, Chris Brits. He started off just being under the shadow of Sekhukhune, was pickpocketing the fielders, getting 27 from 29 deliveries. He felt like he should have taken on. He couldn't. Now it brings on the former under-19 international for South Africa, who has had and has shown flashes of brilliance in Devan Murray.
Yeah, there's massive potential there, and yet to show it on the Division 2 stage necessarily, but no better day than the present to do it. Really good wickets, good platform laid by the openers, so no reason why I can't come in and play nice and freely.
He's been given a great start, Devan Murray. Shane Dadswell though, he's been bowling with good control.
Commentators curse the Lux there in Pendula. You've just said he's and he has been bowling with good control, but that was an outrageous slow ball attempted there by Shane Dadswell.
Still keeping it fresh. Now
pace off, ball stunned into the ground. As there was a thought there of the second, but I think Devan Murray ran obviously too far past the stumps there, so no chance of the second.
See now, the Rhinos have a chance to restart here. They've removed the 2 set batters. Pierce has only faced 4, Murray has only faced 1. Ball has lost most of its new ball magic. So now you're asking, can the bowlers restart and actually try target the stumps a bit more now?
As Murray then knocks it into the leg side with some great timing. Massive dive on the boundary, can't stop it from going for 4. Really good way to open his account, Murray. We were talking about that, but great shot there just to show that potential. As it ends the over, bringing the Eastern Storm 87 for 2 after the 11th over.
It's just a half tracker that from Shane Dadswell, especially with pace off. You're asking Devon Murray to just eat into that one. But I must say, questioning what the Limpopo Rhino and Mpumalanga Rhinos are doing with the new batters in, you're still giving all of that room on the leg side. You still have all of your 4 fielders patrolling that boundary. When you have a chance, new batters in, you want to apply that pressure. You want to feel like you are squeezing them in. And it feels here like they're giving them an easy access into their innings to just work it around.
You want someone inside the leg side there stopping that one. That's what you're after. As another former Easterns man, Yuri Snyman, spent many a good year. Goes for that same leg side field. And he has struck with the first delivery. Just going across the batter. Batter saying that the ball has just stopped a little bit. Easy catch taken there by Gareth Dukes. And Mpindula was just referring to that gap on the leg side. Batter looking exactly for that gap. Bit of a leading edge. Straight to extra cover there, Dukes. And Mpumalanga Rhinos really bowling their way back into the match. With the 3rd wicket now going down.
Very soft dismissal from Mark Pierce there. Extra bounce for Yuri Snyman. Caught him off guard. Getting leading edge high up onto the bat as well. As easy as you like for the man standing at mid-off. They lose their 3rd wicket here, the Eastern Storm. And like you said, over number 7 to 15, just as crucial in building those runs and building that platform. If you're a bowling team and you're able to break down those wickets, you're making it harder for the back end for them to score those runs.
Yeah, so if you go in the last 5 overs, what would that be? 52, so that's 34 for 3. Mpumalanga Rhinos in that middle stages, which is just as important. Just as important there. Yuri Snyman, not necessarily a big turnover of the ball, so sliding across the batter there. Pierce being an Eastern's boy, probably should have known that as well. Not trying to be too harsh hard on him. Same sort of thing. Snyman in, sliding across the new batter. Nice way to build a couple of dots here. New batter is Dani Rousseau. He's knocked it into the leg side, scurrying off, looking for that second. Not on this time.
I think that's what Mark Pierce was trying to do. The only difference is that that ball actually spun a little bit. Seems as if Pierce was also guiding for the movement to come back in towards him. Ball just doing nothing that he expected until he lost his wicket.
As Murray takes strike here of Snyman. Snyman wide of the crease there, into the pads, gets knocked into the leg side. They take the easy single. Snyman quite wide of the crease here. Also really rushing through his over here. They tap it into the leg side. Snyman should have gone for that. And they get back for the 2. Amron Rolfers couldn't stop the 2 there. But a really good first over here. Last ball of the first over. First over only gone for 4 from Snyman. How does he finish off here? Goes straight down the ground, up to long off. Mayet does the fielding. 5 off and a wicket off Snyman's first over there. Brings the score up to 93 for 2. after the 12th over.
Very good over that. Very good way to start off. Soft wicket, but you don't see the score sheet and write wicket soft. It's a wicket. And then just controlling the rest of the over, but the batters were able to counter-attack. This new partnership now with 5 runs between Devon Murray and Danny Rousseau, and what's one thing we're seeing here is that we're going back to the formation of the first partnership. It's running between the wickets, running hard between the wickets, but the boundaries just drying up a little bit in the last couple of overs, and that's what wickets bring you.
And the wickets have come as soon as the guys have started taking pace off the ball, which I know the Easterns bowlers will be watching quite carefully. Got a couple of experienced heads in that Easterns attack, and they'll take note of that and use it in the second innings. Admiral Rolfus comes back into the attack here. It'll be interesting to see what he does in terms of tactics. When you saw what happened with Dadswell taking pace off, he's got a third man back, cover sweeper, and 3 out on the legs. As again, you can see that Eastern's blueprint clear as daylight. Oh, Mkatu tries to stop the 2. He's nearly thrown that ball for 4, but he gathers it. Yeah, it's definitely a KPI for Eastern in terms of trying to run hard and put those fielders under pressure. As Hammer and Rolfus pushes it wide outside the off stump, and they've let it go through to the keeper. I think the batter was thinking he would pick up a wide for that. Not called there by umpire Gaz.
Dot balls are so golden right now, given the fact that these 2 are just looking to steal singles and juices wherever they come. They've brought in a mid-wicket now who's on the inner ring.
As Rousseau cuts it there to backward point, Mayet does some good work there to only let it go for a single. Last couple of overs, as you say, has dried up a little bit here for Easterns. It'll be interesting to see how they try and kickstart it again. It is a beautiful shot. It looked like the ball kept a little bit low on Murray there, but controlled it beautifully and absolutely timed the living daylights out of that. It's come all the way back up onto the bank.
Placement as well was exquisite. Not only did he place it in between the fielders, he also placed it exactly to the staircase, so it can climb up that embankment. Ball kept a little bit low as well, it seemed.
Squat anyway.
But he was able to cover it really well there, Devon Murray.
As he stunts it into the ground, Mayet does the fielding there at backward point. They get through for a well-taken single. The Rhinos obviously playing without John Henriksen in this match. He's normally their go-to in the death and with the new ball. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. Short again, and it's just short of that mid-wicket fielder that Mpendulo has been asking for the last 7 overs. Mpendulo, yeah. No, but no harm, no foul. Brings to the end the 13th over, as Easton's there on 101 for 3.
That could have easily been another 2 for the Eastern Storm as well, if that man wasn't there. But 101 for 3. Those 3 wickets falling in quite quick succession as well. So they'll be happy with this partnership. They haven't seen many boundaries, just 1. It's on 13.
As Snyman comes into the attack, gets knocked into the leg side, and the Eastern batters scamper off. No 2 this time. Snyman wants to really get through these overs quite quickly. Doesn't want to give the batters any time to settle. He's ready up at the top of his mark.
Easy 2 runs. This is so well done. And again, this is what you were saying in the previous over, that sometimes it's on the bowler to go in and clear and can collect his own work.
Snyman tried there and then sort of just gave up a little bit. Yeah, he probably should have carried on and stopped his own 2 there. As Murray goes across, 6 runs. Sorry, Murray. That's Rousseau goes across, uses his sweep with the breeze over deep backward square leg there. And that's we were just saying, when is the kickstart going to happen? Really, really good shot there.
Walking across his wickets as well for that.
And it's a tap to backward point, taking another single there.
It's very fine batting here between Rousseau and Murray. It's that key thing that we always talk about, consolidating your boundary. Score 4. If the next one is not hittable, just secure a 1. You've defeated the bowler in that battle.
As another single is accrued there into the leg side. As that over from Snowman goes for 11. Rousseau doing some really good work there, getting across his stumps, sweeping. Snowman getting through his over so quickly though, we can't get highlights in with the time taken in between his balls there. Easton's going along here at about 8.3 to the over. I think if you had to give it to the Mpumalanga Rhinos, they would have taken 160 after that. They would have taken 160 after that power play.
But then after those 3 wickets, you would have felt like they would have brought it back a little bit. Say 150. Yes, maybe let's continue applying this pressure. We saw this yesterday actually with the Tuskers game. They posted 132 runs.
As it's short and wide, Mahupo tries to do the fielding, takes a little bobble in front of him, goes for 4. A little bit of impetus being put back into the innings here by Rousseau. He's come out and shown some impetus. He's also been given some free balls. Very short and wide there. Again, we're saying missing the stumps. Straight at backward point. Again, some really good running from the Eastern's men.
Ooh, Rolfers bowls a really nasty short ball, but signaled a no ball, and that's criminal given the fact that all of a sudden this partnership's momentum has shifted it to the Storm.
The last thing you want to do now is give Array a free ball, yeah, which he's done. And they can't change the field. It's going to be interesting to see what tactic Rolfers goes for here. He's going to back his Yorker. Is he going to bowl it short into the surface, take pace off? What's his option?
Hits the deck really hard. Well bowled, but also both Murray and Rousseau have been able to hit those pretty well. Can't feel like he missed out there.
He's going to feel like he definitely missed out there. Short and wide. Any bat on that would have flown away.
Strangely enough, though, with those cut shots, we've seen a lot of inside edges with the ball not really hitting the meat of the bat. that time hitting the top edge of the bat, but the placement is good enough from Devon Murray, the power as well, to push that ball over that boundary.
I'm not quite understanding the tactics here from Rolfus. When we watched that Shane Dadsall pace off worked, Rolfus really giving the middle of the wicket a good working over. His partnership goes to 35. It's really come along quite nicely.
Another short one, rushing Murray, but he plays it to the cow corner for an easy single. Indeed, really going for that pace on option here, Herman Rolfers. But he's taken a bit of a tapping. His current over has gone for 11 runs. Has one more ball for his spell. His first 2 overs were pretty decent. Just losing it in these last couple of ones. But he closes it off really well. That's the end of 15 overs. There's 30 deliveries in the innings to go. Herman Rolfers completes his spell of bowling. No wickets. Gone for 33 runs in his 4 overs.
There's a change in the attack here. Shane Dadsall comes back into the attack from the Ekurhuleni end this time.
Going to be an interesting switch up. See how he's going to work it here. His partnership growing legs, currently on 36 runs. They've recovered that required run rate, or that run rate for one point in time it was at 7.6. They've recovered a run per over. Shane Dadswell comes in for his 3rd. Nice and full, and he continues on that good work with those slower deliveries.
Field that Dadswell got set is almost a spin field. Got his deep backward square leg, car corner, long on, long off, and covers sweeper out. How does Donny Rousseau?
That is indeed a field setting that tells us there will be a lot of slower deliveries and a lot of change-ups.
In essence, it's a spin field.
Yeah.
So your spin field. Dads will also come in really wide of the crease that lost the delivery.
Surely doesn't mind giving that width as well. When he comes in straight, he also has the protection in that cow corner region, but a little fumble pushes for run number 2. He'll be a little bit upset with that second run. But it just signifies the good running here between these two. It was not so long ago when that 3rd wicket has fell. Can't help but feel as if the Storm are not feeling the effects of that wicket because Rhinos didn't capitalize as much as they should. It's like I said, I feel like they let it go right at the beginning, because when this partnership started, they gave them all of that room and space to just work the ball around. I can't help but feel like they should have applied a bit more pressure, because now these are just procession runs for them. They've gotten used to that idea. It's as if the fielding and the bowling was asking them to take these 1s and 2s throughout the course of their partnership, and they obliged.
With those 3 wickets falling, they probably did have an opportunity to squeeze a little bit better than what they did, which they didn't do. Dadswell doing a good job this over, really limiting the damage there.
Really trying his best, but it's absolutely smart batting here between Murray and Rousseau. Still able to take 7 runs from that over. And it's Shane Dadswell who's been the one who's just having more control. But all of a sudden, even his controlled bowling is just leaking runs here and sustaining this run rates for the Eastern Storm. It's 131 for the loss of 3 after 16 overs.
as it brings to the back end of the innings here. This is where the magic happens. Is Dukes comes back from the shallows end. Again, he's got 3 out on the legs. Cover sweeper, long off.
Starts with a nice short one. Deceptively quick is Gareth Dukes. He's just getting that ball to do something extra that the other bowlers aren't able to.
He's been around the blocks, hasn't he? He's a journeyman pro. He's a really good team man. Is Gareth Dukes. Really good guy to have around in the team. Really hard worker as well. So
batter walking across. Umpire says that's wide.
Dukes is probably arguing there that if the batter was standing in the normal position would have hit him in the pads, but nonetheless it has gone down the leg side. Wide has been called. As the partnership now moves on to 45.
Probably had a little chuckle with himself and his teammates like, Umpy. But here he comes. Really good control. Here's Dukes running it down.
And again, fantastic weighting of the shot. The ball just dribbles to that out to the 30-yard circle. Dukes setting after it, trying to get it back, but can't stop the batters from taking another 2.
It's just the placement is immaculate from Daniel Rousseau and even from Devon Murray. They're batting at similar strike rates right now. 23 from 15, 26 from 18. So pressure being exerted from either end to the bowlers. But Dukes having a better understanding and execution of the plan. His fielders not backing him up. As they come back for run number 3, it's abysmal fielding. Just giving runs away here. It should have been 1. And they take 2 extra.
That is enough to make Gareth Dukes lose the little hair that he has got on his head. Yeah, that's not ideal.
Especially after you make an initial mistake. You want to recover from that mistake as quickly as you possibly can. Seems like he just dropped his shoulders a little bit there, Mkhatso, after he made that mistake.
And that 3 brought up the 50-run stand between these two. As Mkhatso goes after it again. Eastern batters trot through for another 2 runs.
It's really, they've made it look easy here, Murray and Rousseau. When this partnership started, I said this is the chance for Mpumalanga Rhinos to reset and restart their bowling. Not did I thought that memo was only for the Rhinos. It seems like the Storm picked it up as well, because for them too it was important to start over. And after they've started over, now they can go a little bit big. Placement there, a little bit off, but the running is still pure between Murray and Rousseau. That's why their partnership now moves to 54.
And this is what we were saying earlier about the Easterns team. Every match this season, a couple of guys have just contributed and just chipped in. And Murray and Rousseau doing exactly that, isn't it?
And this is also without Grant Thompson, who would have been coming in now also. And it's brilliantly placed. Looks lazy, but it's all in the timing and in the wrists of Devon Murray. It runs down for 4 runs to close over number 17. The score is 146 for the loss of 3. It's a lot of cricket that's also still going to happen. Partnerships here growing to 58 runs. Cricket South Africa and the Hollywood Bets also bringing a partnership of their own as they excel women's cricket. Cricket South Africa and Hollywood Bets are excited to bring you the Hollywood Bets Pro Series Women Professional League, which will be made up of the Hollywood Bets Pro 50 and the Hollywood Bets Pro 20. This all will be starting this Friday, the 4th of October. Make sure that you get your tickets and all of the information necessary at cricket.co.za. Hashtag Wozanawe. Hashtag be part of it. Be a part of the women's game as it grows in high standards. Here is Mkhathu. Just pushing it down wide, and we've seen that happen with him in his first couple of overs as well, Gordon.
I think he saw the better move there and tried to follow him, but just overcorrected slightly. I just heard you talk about the ladies' game there. As Rousseau there takes it wide of long off. They scamper through for 2 again. And Mkhathu missing the stumps on the offside this time. "17 balls left in the innings here." They go for the reverse sweep. Goes down to the shallow end, and the ball will win the race there. Ball goes for 4 runs. Inventive there from Dani Rousseau. All the fielders up on the offside, so he obviously saw that would be a good boundary option. Mkhathu obliging with the length ball.
Rosa brings up the 150 for the Eastern Storm. A really good way for Dani Rousseau, who moves to 35. Opens up the offside. Brave delivery from Mkhathu, but it works out. That's that width, that dangerous width that the batters will prey on, especially at the back end of this innings, especially with that much pace on it. Slaughtered for 4 runs by Dani Rousseau as they move to 157.
Dani Rousseau giving himself some decent room there to carve it through the offside. I think as a player, you've got to follow him, tuck him up. That's what you want to do, and then collect your own delivery. No. Easton's batters take 2 again. Fantastic batsmanship here from Easton's, but it's been a theme of their innings, hasn't it? Where Easton's have really been able to take 2s at will, to take 1s at will, mixed in with the odd boundary. Takes the score up there to 159.
The cricket as well is counterintuitive. You think at the back end of the innings it's time to hit the ball hard, go big at it, but with so much space being given on the leg side, Rousseau is just tapping it right for the ball to stand in the middle of the ground so that they are able to take those 2s. The options present itself. He misses it with the bat. It clutters onto the pads. Dead plumb, and Akhulile Mkhathu is able to get the wicket of Dani Rousseau, trapped LBW.
Rousseau looks livid as he is walking off. I don't know if that hit his glove. There was a soft sound from up here. Be interesting to see from the replay as to what actually happened there as Libba walks to the crease here. The big hitting Libba.
Prized wicket with only 2 more overs to go. Dani Rousseau was ready to go for it. He was eyeing that half century as well. Goes for a creative shot. He is complaining like a man who got something onto it. It was only the batter, it was only the bowler and the wicketkeeper who appealed The umpire hears the appeal. Umpire Stadler raises his finger. After 18 overs, it's 160 for the loss of 4. Now that 180 figure looking very tantalizing for the Storm. Gareth Dukes with the ball for the final time in his overs. He's bowled 3, gone for 24. Devon Murray whips out the helicopter. Dukes with really good fielding, cleaning up his own work, but they still get the one, which brings in the new man, Leander Loba.
A lot of the Mpumalanga fielders were actually advising Dukes there against the throw. So I think if he did miss the wickets, there would have definitely been another 2. Love to see a 2 count here for the Eastern Storm.
These are the times where each and every single run is so marginal, because each and every single one of them just adds on to what the batters will be doing. They've already eclipsed that 160, which by itself is a good score. 165 runs was posted in the previous game. They come back for 2, a risky 2, but it's easily done by Leander Loba. They move to 163. The average scores in T20s here, 149 runs in the first innings, 132 in the second innings. Previous game, 165 right here. Was chased down amply by the Storm. Ooh. So they'll surely be wanting more, but Dukes is holding on, being the resistance with some pretty decent bowling.
It's a good short one. That's actually hurt Libba. Right in that little midriff region. Not a nice second ball to get in your innings. Winded him a little bit.
Dukes is so unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to be bowling next. But unlike the rest of the bowlers, he has been able to bowl with more control. His bowling seems more deliberate. And it's putting the batters in a bit of questions. Until he drops a long hop. That is taken in the deep by a fantastic catch. Needed to be aware of the boundary. Leander Loba thought that he had it all, but is hitting it against the wind and against a fielder who knew exactly what he needed to do, and a bowler who's deserved of his wicket.
Libba is in some serious trouble here. He's gone down on the non-strikers in there. I think that Duke's previous delivery really shook him up. And it's not uncommon for a batter to actually break a rib in an instance like that, where your ribs are so exposed and the ball has full access to that rib cage. But a fantastic catch there by Yuri Sneyman.
He was on the move. The ball, once is fighting against the wind, it has to twirl in the air. He's jumping up. He has to make sure that the fielder who's coming to support him doesn't clatter onto him. All in all, great communication in the deep. Fantastic awareness from him as well to ensure that it doesn't overstep and make that 6 runs. Leander Loba missed his struggles, now walks off without affecting the scoreboard in his 2 deliveries. It's 162 for the loss of 5, with 8 more deliveries to go.
Funny thing is, in a T20 match, you try and find sometimes 5 or 7 runs. He's found 6 runs there, Yuri Snyman, hasn't he? It's a really, really good catch. If he didn't catch, they would have definitely gone over the boundary rope. 2 older statesmen in the Mpumalanga side doing the business there, and I know they won't mind me saying that, Dukes and Snyman.
Age is nothing but a number. Age tells experience also. That's how you are able to be aware of what needs to be done. But that really was a tough catch. And it leaves Storm on 162 for 5 with those 8 deliveries to go. Sekukune, who started it off well, so also getting into those 40s. They'll just be a bit upset here, Gordon, that none of them were able to convert all of these good starts. Takes the edge.
Dukes will be on a hat-trick. First ball, lovely take by Musa Twala at the back. Dukes continues with that short ball tactic. As Khan leaves without troubling the scorers. Mpumalanga really doing some good work here to fight back here at the death. Marie must feel that he's stranded on the other end for the last couple of deliveries there.
Just fending at that one as well was Shabir Khan. No real intent on what he wanted to do. A wide and short one from Gareth Dukes. And a good catch from Musatswala behind.
As one Khan replaces another. And Dukes will be on a hat-trick here. Tough gig here for Dukes. No slip or anything like that. Goes to the left hand on a hat-trick. The ball goes up. Oh, and Funnycat can't get there. Would have been a hat-trick for Dukes. Ben Funnycat doing his absolute level best to get there, but couldn't take the catch.
It was an interesting time. Just for a moment, thoughts that he might have found his hat-trick, Gareth Dukes, but it ends over number 19. 6 more balls to go now in the innings. 164 for the loss of 6. Dukes has been bowling well, did bowl well, and in his final over gets rewarded with 2 wickets because he continued being consistent and persistent. And now with 180, which looked on the marks for the Eastern Storms, he's been able to restrict that really well. Temba Maupa will be responsible for the final over.
A fantastic fight back here from Mpumalanga. They just controlled the opening stage of that over 7-10. Nice little partnership between Marais and Rousseau, and all of a sudden another little fight back. Two little, what do you want to call it? Almost a session or pre-session of 3 wickets falling. As last over here, Mahupa goes wide outside the off stump, and Marais can't cash in there. I'm sure he'll feel like he's missed out there. The whole offside field up. Any bat on that probably would have gone away for a boundary.
Maupa has been bowling with a little bit of width. Just got hit in his second over, went for 13 runs. Bowls this one a little bit short. Good connection as they run back for number 2. Is he going to make it home? Devon Marais does make it home. The throw just bouncing on the square. A hard take for Musatswala.
Very unlucky bounce there for Musatswala. I think it was the right option to bounce it in. Just bounce a little bit close to him.
Certainly would have put Marais in trouble. Straighter one is whipped to long on. Comes back for number 2, Aman Khan, strong running. And again, now that pressure tolling as they try to restrict the ones, being put under pressure. Halfway through the final over now. Murray on strike. Walks across his stumps. Fine leg is there. Would have wanted to go a little bit finer given the fact that he opened those legs stumps so much.
Exactly what it looked like he tried to do, isn't it?
Just
Last 2 balls of the innings, yeah?
maybe just the lack of pace. Ball not reaching him as much as he thought. Then he has to generate a little bit of power, pushes the ball squarer. They take 1. 2 more balls to go. Man Khan has only faced a single delivery. They bring in a man standing at fine leg. The only boundary riders being deep square leg, cow corner, long on. Now they're pushing a man to deep cover. Hits up into the air. Maupa goes under the ball from his own bowling and he cleans it up. It's stuck into the air for a while. Aman Khan was looking to go big. However, he must go home as the 7th wicket falls for the Eastern Storm.
You'd think the Eastern Storm would feel they've left a couple of runs out there. And it'll be interesting to see how close the Mpumalanga Rhinos, if they get there and they get home, extra 10 or 15 runs would make a really, really big difference. A small margin that we talk about in T20 cricket.
Now it's just going down to the final delivery. 169 for the loss of 7 for the Eastern Storm. A decent score. If you're just looking at it from the outside in, if you've just joined the game, it looks decent. But from where they were, indeed, Gordon, seems like they've left a couple of runs out there, especially in these last 3-4 overs at the back end of the innings. After losing the wickets of Dani Rousseau, it's just tumbled a little bit. Temba Maupa has finally found his first scalp.
I wonder when last Shailen Pillay has batted 9 in a T20. I don't know if he's ever batted 9 in a T20 match.
And on his last delivery, Pillay's first, he muscles it into space. He's coming back for run number 2. Might not make it. Indeed, he doesn't make it. Sacrificial run as he tries to maximize the score for the Eastern Storm. However, it ends on 170 for the loss of 7. Devon Murray is left undefeated on 37, and the Mpumalanga Rhinos will need 171 runs to win.
Murray just starved of strike there in the last couple of overs, which, as we say, at the end of the second innings, we'll only be able to tell. But for me, the Eastern Storm left a couple of runs out there. Good 2 sessions of fighting back there from the Rhinos, straight after the power play, and straight right before the death, picking up a couple of wickets to restrict Eastern Storm to a really, really chaseable total, I would think, in the Mpumalanga Rhinos' minds. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Indeed, we wait to see. Decent scores starting off at the top with a couple of 40s from Kabelo Sekukune, and right at the bottom by Dani Rousseau as well. A couple of wickets for Gareth Dukes, bowling well with his economy rate, as we see what will happen in the second innings. 170 runs to win. Join us here in the Cricket South Africa YouTube channel at Benoni Willowmoore Park.
Welcome back to Willowmoore Park between this Division 2 clash between the Mpumalanga Rhinos and the Eastern Storm. Eastern Storm making 171. I think they'll feel that they've left a couple of runs out there. Mpumalanga Rhinos fought back really nicely just after the power play and pre-death. So it'll be interesting to see how the guys go about it. Mohammed Mayet, captain of the Mpumalanga Rhinos, he's walking out to the crease with Yasser Cook. Really experienced Yasser Cook, been around quite a while. Mohammed Mayet coming off some runs there against the Northern Cape. Similani opening the bowling for the Eastern Storm. Terminator, as he's affectionately known. The slow left arm, bowling from the chalet end to Mayet. He's got a long off back and a car corner. The time will tell whether Eastern Storm left a couple of runs out there or not. And he's gone. Mayet goes first ball, wide of the stumps, cuts it straight to the 45 man inside the circle. Mpumalanga Rhinos skipper has to walk back first ball, and that is not the start that Mpumalanga Rhinos were after. It's exactly the start that the Eastern Storm were after. First ball of the innings, captain has to walk back.
Doesn't start better than that. Captain walking back, and the man who was on form for the Mpumalanga Rhinos, scoring 76 runs against Northern Cape Heat, and all of a sudden gets a take top edge straight to the man standing at short 45. He didn't even have to move much to take that catch. Mpumalanga Rhinos on the back foot. This is the start they wish they would have had with the ball after winning the toss and electing to bowl first. But Eastern Storms now reversing the pressure, and Nonele Laika comes in at number 3.
If we thought the Eastern Storm running was quick between the wickets, this man is a hair between the wickets, is Yika. He is really quick. Made his way up from the Eastern Cape to the Mpumalanga Rhinos. Applied his trade in White River. Books in second ball of the innings.
Down!
Just outside of stump.
Defended
Defended there towards extra cover.
Down!
And he cuts it through. Dragged down by Similani. Yika cashes in there. Fall through the vacant cover sweeper area. And he gets off the mark with a nice looking boundary.
This is what Mayet was looking for. But it's Yika who gets great connection, and the placement too is very clean for his first boundary. First runs of the innings.
The catch there was taken by Pillay, who's on for Libba. Libba got that ball to the ribs, and I think it's done some damage to him. Nearly a similar dismissal. Drop catch there, backward point. Batters come through for 2. It would have been a disastrous start for the Rhinos.
Definitely would have been tragic. The chance was there to be taken by Mark Pierce. Diving to his right, ball pops out of his palms. Yika survives. Seems like this problematic extra bounce. It's really getting the batters into trouble. So with Mark Pierce himself, his dismissal was like that.
Down!
So Milani lucky to get away with a couple of deliveries there and a couple of drop catches. Short missing the stumps. I suppose he would say that he got the wicket of Mayet. Rosamenia comes on from the Kuruleni end. Also journeyman pro, been around for a little while.
A lot away from you. More.
We saw the new ball with pace on was rather productive for the batters, but that was early in the morning. Slower balls from Shane Dadswell and Gareth Dukes for the Mpumalanga Rhinos showcased what it needs to be done to limit the run scoring on the surface, which will then buy you the wickets. So how will Andrew Rasimene start off here? Bowls to Yasar Cook.
Bit of shape straight away. These two been around a hell of a long time, would have had many tussles together, these two. Yasar Cook just gesturing there to Yika about the shape. Shape was from the hand though, so easy enough to spot.
Really is a snake in.
Just enough shape to keep him interested. Yasar Cook didn't get off the mark in the last match. I'm sure he'll be wanting to get that first run of the season out the way. And he's taken that first slip after about the third attempt. That's that away swing shape that we've been speaking around. Yasar Cook flashes his hands and he's caught by Sekukune at first slip. After the third attempt, Mpumalanga Rhinos now in a spot to bother here, 6 runs for 2 wickets down.
That was sharp carry to Kabelo Sekukune. Rushed. Pedals the ball, nearly drops it. Would have been disastrous being dropped twice within a couple of deliveries for the Eastern Storm, but he eventually makes it happen. He has great hand-eye coordination after all, Sekukune, and he makes it work. The ball sticks eventually. Yasar Cook leaves without affecting the score. Problems now for Mpumalanga Rhinos at 6 for 2.
To the crease, Yuri Snyman. Captained the side last year. As we said earlier in the commentary, has played lots of his cricket here, so is really well versed in terms of the conditions and what the conditions allow. Left-hander also poses a slightly different challenge to the batters, to the bowlers, should I say. Rasimene will obviously look to bring the ball back at Snowman. Look to get him trapped in front and get those stumps in play. It looks like a man going underneath the lid for Snowman. It's been well documented. He's at times inability to cope with the short ball well. He has addressed a lot of those last season. Actually played the short ball really well. Thick inside half of the bat, just wide of the mid-on. Snowman's off the mark.
Another big thing working to Rasimene's advantage as the movement that he's getting. With the ball tailing back into Sneyman, it's going to be so much more easier to activate Kabelo Sekukune standing at that short leg, trying to pedal the ball away, then straight into the man at the short leg.
So a bit of rebuilding to do here for the Rhinos. 2 quick wickets in the power play, never an ideal sort of situation in terms of what you want as the batting team. That's what we were saying about Mpumalanga Rhinos when they started off the innings. And you just look at Rosameni there. He's only bowled 4 deliveries. How many balls has he asked the batters to play the ball, because he's hitting off slump, isn't he? So really, really good here from Rosameni. Fantastic start, putting Easterns here on the front foot in the power play.
And that really is the difference between the two starts, because we saw the opening bowlers for Rhinos were also getting some movement from the ball. But it's Rosameni
on the button, isn't he? Really, really good. Fantastic start there from Rosameni. One off the over and the wicket of Yasser Cook. Really, really good start. So Milani bowled the first over from the chalet end. Snayman coming in. The Eastern Storm preferring pace. Aman Khan coming on. Going to try and move it away here from the left-handed Snayman. Round the wicket to him he goes. Easterns with their tails up at those 2 wickets. Snowman just gesturing that ball has actually come in. Really, really big swing there by Snowman. I think that would have gone over the yellow roof if he did make contact.
One important thing here for the Rhinos not to forget is that ones are also runs. Ones and twos were the hallmark of the Eastern Storm's partnerships. And here they're just looking to go a little bit big. They need to find those little pockets, those little ones and twos.
Splice of the bat there by Snayman.
Oh my God, hey!
You were saying earlier about the wicket, bit of bounce, bit of carry, coming on nicely onto the bat. Third man comes up into the ring. They're dropping that, what would be a car corner. You've got your car corner in the deep backward square out, 2 fielders out inside the. There's someone just walking across the side screen at the moment. That's not now. Now it is deterring Snowman. I thought it wasn't going to for a minute there, but he did spot it. Snowman swings and misses again. Again, a back of a length delivery.
Maybe a better idea here for Snayman, since he's already looking to go to the leg side, is get in line with the ball. Play the ball inside the line of his body. It will be much more easier for him to tuck it away into that space. Given the fact that both mid-wicket and square leg are out in the deep, it could easily be 2 runs as well if he thinks about it from that perspective.
Especially as you say with Yeek on the other end, he'll naturally oblige with the running. Again, short of a length, offside this time. Snowman plays it out into the cover ring. That is the tricky thing sometimes with T20 cricket. You have 2 bad overs, all of a sudden that rate is climbed to 9.5 needed here by the Mpumalanga Rhinos. That sometimes plays on the batter's mind. I know you're talking around the singles and that. Power play that batters tend to get carried away and think in boundaries at times. Beautiful delivery there, passing Snowman's outside edge. Brings to the end of the 3rd over, Mpumalanga Rhinos. struggling here a little bit at 7 for 2. Easterns with their tails up. Really good energy here from the Eastern Storm with the changes between the overs. Rosamene will continue here from the Ekurhuleni end.
It's the first maiden over of the match as well, bowled by Aman Khan. Didn't do anything too special, just hitting back of a length, every now and then pushing it a little bit fuller. Seems as if Yuri Snyman just didn't find his mark and still hasn't found his mark on 1 for 7.
Short delivery there from Rosamene. The breeze here at Willowmoore Park today assisting him. Really healthy carry there through to the keeper.
See, now this is going to be the situation. Having lost Mohamed Mayet, who was their leading run scorer in the previous match, Yuri Snyman, who scored 37 as they were chasing that 202 from Northern Cape Heat, falling short on 184. Now that workload falls onto the next set of batters.
As Rosamene goes past the outside edge again, rolling with some really good shape, really good control here from Rosamene.
So now the question is, which next batter from the Rhinos will be able to raise their hands alongside Yuri Snyman? It's what you talked about earlier on about the Eastern Storm. Sekhukhune, if he doesn't shine, if Brits doesn't shine, someone else is going to raise their hands. So now the question is here for the Rhinos, who will that man be?
I think the good thing with the Rhinos is they've got quite a long batting lineup. You've got a couple of nice batters that are going to walk to the crease. Still got Rolfus who can bat, Vanika who can bat, Dukes who can bat. So a couple of guys who still who can really wield the willow. But exactly what you're saying, just a bit of a base to work from. You don't want them having to do the lion's share of the work. As Rosamene over pitches, Yika obliges with a gorgeous cover drive. Doesn't try to overhit the ball. That is at times the problem when there is a little bit of swing. You do tend to look slightly fuller of length, as he did stray there.
But the drive still was aerial for a bit. If it was any closer to the right hand side, would have called extra cover into action.
Works his length back there. Yika tucks it into the leg side. He was looking for the 2, not on this time. Brings Yuri Snyman left hand on to strike here against Rosamene. That rate is touching 10s at the moment.
At this point, you're just hoping that the power play sees them reach 30 runs without losing another wicket. Of course, in their plans, having 30 after 6 overs was not what they budgeted for. But given the start that they've had, given how well the Storm are bowling right now, just rework your plans a little bit, try to rebuild your innings. Partnerships are the name of the game. So far, the Rhinos haven't been able to establish even a single one.
As Sekhukhune goes under the lid again for that last ball, plus the 2 minute on the leg side, deep backward and fine leg going back, brings to the end the 4th over. Mpumalanga Rhinos trailing here a little bit, 12 for 2. Rate has now hit that 10. Play needs to happen here in terms of making sure that rate doesn't get completely out of hand too early on in the innings. Aman Khan is continuing from the chalet end.
Normally we speak of playing yourself in, taking your time to just understand what the conditions are. sometimes that could easily convert into applying more scoreboard pressure on yourself and playing yourself into a little bit of a bubble of saving your wickets rather than trying to score the runs that are required to win. It's going to be important for these two not to fall into that trap.
As Ahmad Khan slips one down the leg side there. Extra. Wide down the leg side. There's that extra bounce that you were talking about, Mpumalanga. Goes past the outside edge.
What we saw with Chris Britt when he was batting, receiving lines like that, he would lean back or try open up space to the offside so that he generates more width. Seems like that ball was a little bit too close for Yika to try and cut it. Could have easily introduced First Lip, who's there for a reason.
It doesn't look like from the shallow end there has just been that odd one that bounces a little bit extra. A lot of the batters playing underneath the ball on that side. Hit in front. That looked extremely straight. Umpire Gaz is signaling that was a small little inside edge. Otherwise, I'm sure Yika would have been on his way. Really did look adjacent.
Could have been the only thing that saved him there. It was super straight. Ball is tailing back into the right-hander. But the important thing here, Gordon, is that length that Aman Khan is able to bowl right up into the face of the batter. He's doing real good jobs here.
Quite simple. You gotta keep the stumps in play. T20 cricket. Got to keep the stumps in play.
We really didn't see the Eastern Storm going onto the front foot. Didn't see any, barely saw drives, front foot defenses. The batters were just playing on their back foot, just pushing the ball around. Nothing of this sort that Eastern Storms are able to bowl here today. And you are crying about it the whole time, Gordon, as well.
As Yika walks across there and taps into the leg side and takes the single.
Asking for that full stuff. Asking for the bowlers to ask the questions to the batters, but they barely generated anything that will scratch the batters' heads.
Yeah, I think that actually comes from my coaching hat. That's the amount of team meetings that you sit in and you try and analyse players and you'll say, no, this guy you do this guy you do that, and top of off. This guy, no, this and that, and top of off. You know, if top of off is good enough for Tendulkar, as Yuri Snyman swings and gets a fortuitous boundary to the third man area. And I'm not gonna. He's missed the stumps. He's missed the stumps. He's afforded width. I think it's one of the first occasions that the Eastern Storm has done that. Yeah. So like I was saying, if the top of off is good enough for Tendulkar, it's probably good enough for a batter in the second division in South African cricket.
But Yuri Snyman just hasn't looked settled here, Gordon. Even that one was looking to heave it over cow corner. Gets a huge outside edge. His feet's just not getting movement enough. We've seen a couple of swings and misses, especially against Aman Khan, where he's just looking for that golf swing. And sometimes he just gets stuck into his crease a little bit too much. But he's still there, and that's the most important thing after 5 overs. It's 18 for 2.
Sometimes that's where the field comes into play. So the 2 out on the leg side is telegraphing a length that these Eastern Storm bowlers are gonna bowl. And if you get sucked into that a little bit, you actually forget to just watch the ball and make a decision from there. As there's another change. Sorry, Mpumalanga.
Just taking a look at those Eastern Storm figures, what we were talking about, the lack of hitting those stumps, exemplified in those economy rates. Only one bowler going under 7 to the over, everyone else going to 8 runs.
As there's a bowling change from the Ekurhuleni end. Khan, left armour, comes on. He's gone with cover sweeper back, and then a deep backward square leg. So it again just tells you around the length he's gonna try and hit. As he gives Yika some width, and Yika doesn't cash in there. Toe end of the bat hit.
Shafir Khan not much on the pace side, and we're still in the power play. It's going to force the batters who are behind on the game to try and generate more power through their shots.
As Yika goes over mid-on, couple of bounces over the rope. We spoke around the length that Khan needs to keep. He's floated that one up, and Yika's put a really good swing on that fall.
Really had to generate the power to get that over Rasemene's head at mid-on. And he did so for such a diminutive figure. But also just change up that pace a little bit for Shavir Khan.
With the forwarded, cover sweeper has a lot to do. Goes down, does some brilliant work. Really, really good there by the cover sweeper man. I think it's Murray out there on the cover sweeper boundary. Saves a definite boundary there. When you look back at the bigger scheme of things, that's important too, that he saved there. But again, it's missing the stumps here. Has afforded him some width. Better over here building for the Rhinos. 6 coming off it. 2 balls still to go in the over. There's that width again. Out to that cover sweeper man. Just the one on this occasion.
As a coach, is there a rule where you instruct your pace bowlers not to bowl slow balls within the first 6 overs?
Not at all. So the 2 deliveries that are very rarely used in the power play is your Yorker and your slower delivery. I mean, Dale Steyn brought it in. There's still a fantastic meme about it with Johnny Bairstow, how he almost got him bowled with the outrageous slow ball. So it's definitely something that the guys are looking for. His name on there just gesturing about the extra bounce again in the surface. Brings the power play to a finish, 25 for 2. Mpumalanga definitely behind the game here. Rate required now needing 10.5, hovering at 10.5. So a play definitely needs to be made here in the middle overs. What we were saying earlier in commentaries, matches are obviously won and lost between overs 7 and 10 or 12. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Mpumalanga batters, they try and pick a couple of bowlers to target. As Chris Brits comes into the attack, obviously Easterns are bowlers short without Libba and that rib injury. I think this might be a man that Mpumalanga say they're looking to maybe target. There's some really sloppy work. Ball is fumbled at mid-off and then thrown past the bowler.
Also, Mpumalanga Rhinos have yet to win a game. Their first game got abandoned without a ball being bowled. Their last game, they suffered a defeat.
The Snowman goes downtown. Doesn't quite get the timing that he would have desired there. Ball bounces once before the long off-fielder. And they take one. I think with this breeze today, that is the side that you want to try and target. Seamers are always going to struggle into, maybe you can hear it in our stump marks here. Wind is quite. Yika goes, picks the gap on the leg side, splits the long on to his right. Really nice boundary there.
Dropping it a little bit too short there, Chris Brits, for his pace. Just wanted to be a bit fuller. Yika has big gaps there at the cow corner and is able to exploit it really well for 4.
As you can see what Yika was trying to do there, trying to get it past that short third. And Chris Britt took a little bit of pace off that one, which made that shot that he intended a little bit more difficult.
Must be careful, especially at the chalet end. Bit of variable bounce coming this way.
As Snyman times that nicely on the bounce to car corner. I'm sure he would have said to himself a meter right or left and probably would have been in boundary.
But you know, it's innings like these where you're struggling. 7 from 13 from Yuri Snyman. Then once it clicks big. However, in order for that to happen, he's going to ensure that he doesn't lose his wicket. He's going to need to ensure that all of these deliveries he's soaking up do not go to waste, because that will feel as if he's costing his team, especially when you're 6 runs behind on that required run rate. It's 33 for 2 after 7.
Now that rate is slowly but surely climbing as Mpumalanga comes into the attack.
I was really surprised that they only gave him 1 over, even though he created 2 opportunities.
I don't think they don't want to bowl spin to Snyman. I think that is the game plan. Snyman is he's known to take spin down, and I think, as you could see from the fields, obviously they think he's a little bit susceptible to the short ball, which I feel is not the case anymore. I say I feel because obviously we've done a lot of hard work on the short ball as the coach last year, but so it'll be interesting to see how he goes against spin here.
Mpumalanga choosing to come around the wickets, going to straighten the ball towards the stumps. For that, it's deep backward square, deep mid wickets, and a long on. It's going to place it to the deep mid wicket for a single.
The one thing they are asking Snyman to do here is they're asking him to hit into the teeth of the wind as well. So you can have your boundary, you can try and take our spinner down, but you're going to have to really catch it quite cleanly.
And it's a really strong breeze that's blowing here. We saw an excellent catch being taken at the deep in the first innings because of that ploy.
What is the likelihood of Yika sweeping? Yika loves a sweep as it's misfielded there at extra cover. There's a really good sweeper of the ball. Coastal player. Coastal players are more renowned for sweeping. As now that rate has grown to 11. 11 needed. And over.
They have to go big eventually. The ball bounces in front of deep mid wicket. Chris Brits collects it. Oh, beaten all ends. Fantastically flighted from Mpumalanga.
For a minute there, I thought it bowled him.
Those often do. Yika just reaching, not reaching the pitch of the delivery. And now he's trying to throw the bowler off, but it seems it was him who's been thrown off, missing that reverse sweep. His deliveries overtake his runs. 28 faced, 26 runs on the board. Mpumalanga Rhinos They need 136 runs to win from the allotment of 72 balls. Oof.
Fantastic over there from Mpumalanga. Over only going for 3 runs. Really applying even more pressure than what's already asked from the Mpumalanga Rhinos. Yeah.
This partnership now is worth 30 runs, and you wonder when will it start to catch up to the amount of deliveries that they faced. They've set up that platform now as Shavir Khan comes to the attack. Now they're going to have to pay it back as Snyman crosses that to the long on boundary. Still have 8 wickets in hand here. Overs are running slowly and slowly away.
Yeah, so as a chasing team, you almost want to work it backwards. So in the last 5, if we have wickets in hand, what do you think we can get? You know, so what would be... What would we be able to get with our batting lineup? What is comfortable? What is sort of uncomfortable? So I'm sure the Mpumalanga Rhinos would be having those chats in the dressing room, and then try and plot out in terms of what they need. So you don't want to hit that required run rate just before the last 5. But with 2 runs a ball almost needed here, it's going to grow every single ball.
It's overpitched from Shavir Khan, giving it width as well, but there is protection out down at the deep as they take 1 run. And if you think about it from a realistic point of view, where you say, okay, 10 runs to the over for the final 10 or for the final 5, that's 30 balls. And then you look at where you are now, you still need another 84 runs to reach that. And that's 84 runs that you're going to need to score within 7 overs. And then you wonder where those runs are going to come by, because as they take these 2s, we haven't seen enough of them.
The Eastern's ground fielding today, besides that drop catch, has been really, really sharp. On a surface like this, you shouldn't have an excuse. Your ground fielding should be really, really good. Nothing in the outfield to say that. Snyman tries to wake that across. He is struggling to time it just a little bit at the moment.
Just continues on and on and on. But unfortunately, the team is falling behind here as they need 131 runs to win.
Something has got to give in the next 2 or 3 overs here, in a big way.
Strong breeze just getting to Shavir Khan. Or was he looking to see what Yika was going to dish up?
I think Yika gave himself some room there, and Khan just saying, no, I'll bowl it when I'm ready.
Shuffling down the track this time. It's placed in front of the man at deep mid wickets. Yuri Snyman is not interested in a second run. And that brings the bout to the close of over number 9. It's 42 for the loss of 2, still needing 130 runs to win. That required run rate, it's less than 6 runs to the over.
Other formula the guys like to try and use is you try and find the difference between your runs and your balls in boundaries. So 130, 72 leaves you 50. As Yika goes across, exposes his stumps, Simlani targets it in there.
Simelane started off at that chalet end. Now coming from the Ikuruleni end is much more fuller in his length as well, just making the adjustment for end that he's bowling at. Also given the fact that now he can do that with more protection in the deep. Snyman just continues struggling. Can't buy a proper timed shot here. that extra bounce just showing its nasty face. That nasty bounce that got the wicket of Mark Pearce and was trying to pedal around to the leg hat side, getting the top edge, being caught at mid-off. It's just popped up into the air by Yika. They won't mind this. They won't mind this at all, Eastern Storm. Because when the Rhinos were bowling, every now and then they'd also give away that boundary delivery.
I think Mpumalanga is just getting just enough purchase from the wicket to keep the batters honest here.
Oh, straight back. Drops a chance, does Mpumalanga. It was hit hard by Yuris Neyman, but he'll feel like he should have grabbed that.
I think he's in trouble here as well. That he's called the trainer on straight away.
Ooh, not good news. Storm might be losing their second bowler after losing Leander Lerber. And it's on that bowling hand as well. And that's the problem is... Oof.
Now they've had the injury worries, the Easterns, as we can see. Grant Thompson trotting around the park. He rolled his ankle. Libba's struggling there. So Mpumalanga is struggling with his fingers. They've got the injury woes. So Mpumalanga seems to be fine there. It's called the magic spray.
But as it stands, with one more ball until we reach halfway through the innings, the Rhinos, they won the toss. They chose to bowl first. The conditions were looking tantalizing for the fast bowlers. They just couldn't capitalize on them. Now they're chasing 172. Mpumalanga is up and alive. Drops it short. It's hit to mid-wicket. They simply cannot find the gaps. That's over number 10 coming to a close. They are being buckled down on 46 for 2.
Currently, Tusker sitting at the top of the Division 2 tree, but should Easterns go on to win this match, they will then top the pool, or the group, should I say.
Starting off with a big wide one there, Chris Brits. The problem is, as well, at the top of that table is that the Tuskers have a bonus point.
Yeah, so the bonus point would be about 136. That's what Easterns would have to restrict Mpumalanga Rhinos to.
Yeah, I say with the way things are going, it seems as if those 20 overs are going to come to an end without that score being reached.
It does seem that way at this moment in time. Play definitely needs to be made sooner rather than later. That rate is now touching 13. Snowman has had a difficult day at the crease here. Can he find some magic somewhere?
Finally, he gets good connection. He takes it over the top. It only took 24 deliveries for him to get the cleanest of connections. Will this spark the difference between the two teams as Sneyman smashes it for 6? He's just been patient, been swinging from this chalet end, missing tons of deliveries from Aman Khan. And finally, Chris Brits dishes one that he can salivate on.
I think Chris Brits wasn't counting himself in the bowling 11. I think with the injury to Libba, he's now become a bowler.
Would be a smart idea to try and target him, especially for Yuris Neyman, who has been struggling to get a rhythm. He's on 21 from 24 now. Really massive hit.
And down the breeze, huh?
Back to regular proceedings though for Chris Britz. Sneeman swinging for the heavens. Gust of wind really blowing through. We can hear it here from the commentary booth. Like you said, Gordon, ball just being assisted with the wind if he's swinging to the leg side, which explains why he's trying to swing there so much. As he goes again.
I think the intent here is quite clear to see what Snyman is. He says we can't leave it any longer. We've got to make the play now. He's decided to take matters into his own hands. Just with the intent he's shown there.
Was that 6 as well from Snyman that brought up the 50 for the Mpumalanga Rhinos? It took them quite a while to get there, but the start that they had, partnership like this is needed. Partnership like this needs to push as well. And it's a glorious stroke from Nonelela Yika. Opens up the room on that leg on that offside. Over the head of Sekukune and into the cover boundaries.
Better over this for the Mpumalanga Rhinos, yeah. 12 of it so far, so they ride up at the rate. 1 ball to go. You start ticking over onto the next over.
Just drifting down to the pads. There is protection in the deep though. An easy single to end the over. 13 runs from it. The thing is, they're going to need to score like this for every single over remaining for them to stand a chance. They need 113 from 54 deliveries.
As Sekukune comes into the attack.
Gonna need to watch their heads. South Alabama, Eastern Storm have just lost a couple of their bowlers. So Kukune now comes in. Great fielding. Just keeping that to 1. And again, the intensity of the fielding from the Storm has just been a touch higher than what the Rhinos exemplified, especially in the dying ends of the innings where the Rhinos just fell apart a little bit, giving away a couple of extras. Simelane just giving a few words to Sekukune.
So Snyman showed his intent at the end of the last over. See what how he goes here.
Like you said, play of spin, guiding down behind the legs. But now it truly must be time to go for the Mpumalanga Rhinos. They've survived enough. They have enough wickets in hand. They have a wicket for each over that's remaining. And it's time for some selfless cricket in order for the team to make it happen.
Again, some of the Eastern's ground fielding there on show. Some really, really good ground fielding. Halfway through this over. What does Snyman do?
That was one to take away, but it's being widened. It's being widened by umpire Stadler. Sekukune arguing his case that he got bat into that. Round his action. Doesn't generate that much spin. But you see, he's enjoying his cricket, Sekukune.
Yeah, good to see him enjoying his cricket.
He's just having so much fun. That's what confidence does for you as well. You just feel like you can do everything.
He's a confident man at the best of times.
He's got it on lock here, and Yuri Sneeman is really struggling. Got that nice big 6. But nothing is just coming his way prior to that and after that. They take a quick single. Yekas, very quick, makes it home. Why does it seem like it? No, there was a dot, and then yeah. 12 overs have come to a close. Like we said, that 13-run over previously needs to be replicated for each and every over going from here on in. They need 13 and a half.
You simply can't afford to have a bad over from here on in. It's 8 overs. Foot down. There's no two ways about it. Try and get 13s here from here on in.
Sneeman on 23 from 27. The wind interrupts play as it blows the bail off. That's how strong it is. So if he gets a clean one onto that leg side, it might fly away. But it's smart bowling, this, from Chris Britz, saying hit against the wind and hit against that side you haven't been comfortable with, because I've really seen balls being hit to the offside from Sneeman. Hits it straight down the ground. Big hit. Boy, do they look good when he makes a clean connection into the side screens for 6. Sometimes that's all you need to just get you going. A big one.
A lot more of that is needed from the Mpumalanga Rhinos.
Oh, and sometimes luck will just be on your favor. That's the case here for Yuris Neyman. Take inside edge. Whisk away from the offside as it runs for 4.
10 off the first 3 balls here. So good overloading here for the Mpumalanga Rhinos. What do you think the Rhinos will think if you take it into the last 5 and you need 13 and over? Do you think they'll think they'll be happy with that?
That's 65 runs needed from 30 deliveries.
Think too much.
Ooh.
What do you think they'll have in mind? Wide.
Just gonna need to get their gears going here. Yuris Neyman will need to find more of these big hits, because it's just they're not coming consistent enough, these overs. You'll get one big one, you'll get the second one being small, and it's hard to say that there'll be a continuous flow of runs to that degree. But when you get shots like that, maybe you want one big over that might swing the momentum, and this might be the one. A good shot from Sneeman.
In last year's T20 comp, Sneeman did hit Michael Erlang for 5 sixes, so he has got the ability to do that, hasn't he?
One of those players, man, when once it clicks big. He's been patient. 38 from 32. Swings big again. He finds the gap again. He definitely finds that gap. It's a big crunching blowing over here. They're taking all of these runs. It's now gone for 19.
With the ball to come.
This might be the over that makes the difference. This might be the over that buys them a little bit of relaxation for the next one, but each one needs to go. Swings big again. It's gonna just be 1 run. He's gonna retain strike going to over number 14. 85 for the loss of 2.
20 of that. So makes up for that couple of overs ago. Rate still hovering there at 12s. I don't know, Bandula. I think if you get into the last 5 and you go 12, although having said that, the Rhinos in the last match they were chasing 200 against Northern Cape. They were chasing it fairly comfortably. I think they needed 11 and over of the last 4, and they fell slightly short. So that might ring in their head there.
No Mohammed Mayet this time. Someone else raising their hands. Similane pushing that a little bit too wide.
He's scared of getting into Snyman's hitting area there after what's happened the last over.
Oh, looking for a thunderous shot. Nearly putting himself into trouble, Snyman. Now he's hitting against the wind as well, so it needs to be a very clean connection. And indeed it is. Massive hit from Yuri Snyman over the stands. He moves to his 40s. 92 for 2. What a crunching shot. Just as you said, he's trying to run away from his arc, and all of a sudden he gives it right there.
And that one, it didn't matter whether it was into the wind or with the wind, that was going all the way. A couple of kids here at the back of the commentary box scurrying for the ball. They have managed to locate it.
It's danger signs as well, because the ball is spinning into him, so his hitting with the spin makes his job that much easier. So now it might be a case of him just playing around with his pace a bit here, Tumelo Simelane. His timing is starting to be good, Yuri Snyman.
So 7 of 2 balls of this over, so let's see what happens here with the rest of the over.
Bowls it quicker, gets the same punishment. This is monster hitting from Yuri Snyman, exactly what the Rhinos need, and what a stylish way to reach his half century.
He was really struggling to find the middle for a long time there. It was less than a runner ball in the 20s, and he's found his range. 55 of 37 balls there. All of a sudden that required rate has come below the 12 for the first time in the last couple of overs. Easton's been having a couple of discussions now and that. Maybe a little bit nervous. As the Eastons, they would know what Snyman can do.
He's caused damage right now. 12 runs in the over. Goes again. Oh, that is a crazy catch. That is a magnificent catch from Chris Britz. It was going down on him. He dove in front and into his cusps. Fantastic catch. And it needed to be something that good to dismiss Snyman, who had found his targets.
Snyman there just querying whether that ball 100% did carry. Very difficult to tell from our position here whether it went cleanly into the hands. Chris Britz, he is an honest player, so I don't think he would do anything of that nature. Umpire Stadler also saw it all the way, so a really good, entertaining innings there from Snyman. Comes to an end, brings another Eastons boy to the crease, Shane Dadswell.
Excellent catch from Chris Britz to bring in the new batter. Boy oh boy, he was good with the bat. And he's shining on the field, Chris Britz. Mpumalanga gets his first wicket, gets his second wicket rather. Would have been number 3, but it got dropped in his first over. And his left hand still hurts. Could have been 4 wickets because he dropped himself through his own bowling when he hurts that left hand.
Shane Dadswell, obviously with a bit of Pretoria Capitals experience, yeah? Tailor-made sort of situation for him.
74 runs to win. And he's off the mark instantly, Shane Dadswell. Yeka's very quick. Makes it home safely. They get 2. And with that, Mpumalanga Rhinos get to 100 runs.
15 of this over so far, so again they're right up there with the rate. Actually ahead of the rate, if we must be honest.
Oof. But how much value is the wicket of Yuri Snyman? Because it was the wicket that looked like it was taking it on. Dadswell tops edge. He is in deep trouble. They converge. And they grab the catch. This is exactly what the Eastern Storm needed. Shane Dadswell taking the plunge, saying, I'm going to go big. But he takes it to the sky, and it's another great catch for the Eastern Storm as wicket number 4 bites the dust.
My heart sat in my mouth there for a minute with those 2 fielders converging like that. You go back to, I think it was Ashgaria Stadium in Sri Lanka with, was it Jason Gillespie and Steve Waugh, the broken jaw and the broken leg, with both fielders moving at that velocity and that pace. It's quite a scary sight to behold. But having said that, fielder had kept his composure and took a fantastic catch.
Mpumalanga completes a spell of bowling. A good one indeed. 4 overs for 28 runs, but importantly, taking 3 wickets, was bowling with a bruised hand for his final over. He got dropped twice. Just shows how well he's bowled. Mpumalanga Rhinos need 72 runs now to win from their final 36 deliveries.
As Gareth Dukes walks to the crease here, that's what I was saying to you earlier. If you go into that last 5 with 12, where are you? You think that you've got a chance, and they've probably given themselves that chance. Still got Dukes, Van Niekerk, and Herman Rolfes in the bank there. So a couple of guys who can still wield the willow. As Khan comes into the attack again. And he's got him. Yeka walks across the stumps, tries to hit him leg side, is trapped right in front. That ball was really straight. And this is that the evidence of the scoreboard pressure now being applied to the Rhinos.
Eastern Storm now getting full reward for their patience. They have just been chipping away, trying to apply the pressure. Yuri Snyman was breaking the chains. Getting that wicket has started a cascade of wickets on their behalf. Nonelela Yeka, who was the last set man who had faced 41 deliveries, loses his stay. Was trying to just up the ante as well, but the one thing that the Rhinos could not do is what Easterns are doing, that is bowling the ball full, bowling it straight. He would have been out for all money if he had missed that. Naman Khan gets his first wicket.
Similar sort of thread to the last match for the Mpumalanga Rhinos. They needed 11s in the last little while, and they lost a couple of wickets. Pressure just builds, and all of a sudden you got 2 new batters. Dukes yet to face a delivery for Nikak, yet to face a delivery, coming in needing 12. Really tough ask here for these batters. Not that they're not capable of it, it is just really tough to start your innings that way.
I mean, when Devil Murray and Dani Rousseau were coming into bat, situation was pretty bad as well for the Eastern Storm. This one is especially bad because they know exactly how many runs that they need to score, and they can see how far behind they are, and you can't shake that pressure off.
There's no, you can't afford to have a look at a couple. You've literally got to, I won't say go, but you've got to keep up with the rate right from the beginning, which is not an easy task to do. Two really good deliveries here from Arman Khan to start to for Nikerk. He's gone right up there in the block hole, in the Yorker to keep Van Nikerk not being able to get off the mark here. As we say that rate slowly tickles over to 13. 72 here needed. Snyman, listen to me. Van Nikerk goes up the ground. Fumble at long on. They come back for 2. Ball hits the stumps. Was an opportunity there for a third. Batter's not necessarily awake to it.
It was actually when Snyman was out there that required run rates almost got to 10 runs to the over. It was on the low 11s. Then he just lost his wicket through a great catch from Chris Brits, and now it's climbed back to 13 runs to the over that they need to score. Oof. Mountainous.
Van Nikerk pitched up, and he has swung his hands. Beautiful shot over long on for 6, down the breeze. Actually didn't sound like he caught it all, but he's a really strong man. He's Van Nikerk. He actually owns a gym, so he should be strong.
Should take that as an advertisement for his gym. Come to my gym and hit big sixes. And that's what he just did. So clean. But now it's going to be needed for him to score more of those. Team in big trouble.
Only 8 of this over so far. As Khan comes in, goes up to long on. Dukes is looking for that second. It's not on. Some really good fielding there from the ground fielding from the Eastern's Storm again.
The one thing that they were able to do, Eastern Storm, in that situation, they took the 2 anyway. And that's how the Rhinos would just fumble the ball every now and then. Just the pressure of putting it on. But it's 15 overs gone. 109 for 5. Willowmoore Park. They'll be experiencing some international cricket coming this season. But it'll be international cricket for the women, as they'll be taking on England this coming summer for 3 T20 internationals, 3 one-day internationals, and that black day on Sunday, the 8th of December. Then there will be 1 test match that will be played from the 15th to the 18th. Visit cricket.co.za to find out more information, and you can also get your tickets at cricket.co.za. Hashtag Wozanawe. Hashtag be part of it. Come watch some more cricket here at Willowmoore Park.
But before that, let's get behind the ladies in the World Cup, starting on the 3rd. As Van Nikerk lets that go out just wide of a long off. They take their 2. The Shavir Khan comes into the attack, left armour. He's going to probably bowl wide of this. Oh, he's got his 3 men out on the leg side. He's chosen that first ball to hang it really wide outside the off stump. As the Mpumalanga Rhino batters there tried for the 2. Some good fielding there by the substitute Pillay to keep it only to the 1. Brings Dukes on to strike. Feels like an eternity since he came in. Hasn't had a ball to face yet. as we said, not the easiest of tasks, needing 12 and over straight off the bat. But they're back in it here, the Mpumalanga Rhinos. They've got a chance, albeit an outside chance as such. And Duke's first ball that he faces has deposited it over the ropes in a slog sweep type fashion. If that hasn't made his intentions clear, then nothing will.
That looked very easy from Gareth Dukes. Just smashing it in front of his pads. Flying in that gap between backward square and deep mid wicket. Really good shot for 6.
Oh my gosh, outrageous from Dukes. A reverse sweep off the seamer to go over the short third. Dukes has started absolutely magnificently here. He's gone 6-4 to put some pressure back onto the bowlers here.
He's had enough of this carnage. He's been watching as a spectator. He's telling us, showing us how it should be done.
He carries on in that vein, goes out into the leg side. They're pushing hard for the 2. Fanikak coming back, and Fanikak is out. Run out, trying to take the second. Dewald Murray, really good fielding there. Gets it nice and close to the stumps, and Fanikak has to go there.
He's one of the best young upcoming fielders, Devon Murray. He is so good and dangerous to take on. Worth taking on for number 2 because of the situation of the game here for the Mpumalanga Rhinos. But what excellent fielding. Now you understand why they were so hesitant to take those 2s and why they just kept on 1s and 1s and 1s. Because the Storm are on the money and they are bringing that tempest to the Rhinos. It's 50 runs to win now. And the deliveries required are really running away. 25.
Still think the Rhinos will think they've got they're in with a shot here. Yes, you obviously would like to, in this situation, you'd prefer to have the ball in your hand, but there's an outside chance. Adman Rolfus, who comes to the crease, joins Dukes. Adman Rolfus has almost got a first-class century last season, the highest score of 99. Dukes goes down the ground. Is that fielder again, Murray? They don't take him on this time, only 1. Really good work. But Dukes will keep the bowling at the end of the over, which is, I'm sure, what Mpumalanga Rhinos will like. Still needing that 12 and over. Over 4 overs. Really interesting finish to this match.
1 more wicket is what Eastern Storm will be thinking about. 1 more wicket really takes it away. The Mpumalanga Rhinos have shown that they can produce a strong over every now and then, especially with Gareth Dukes still out there. 13 runs from the over, 15 runs from the over, keeps it alive just for a little bit. He's on 11 from 3 deliveries.
As Rasamene comes back into the attack, chalet end. It's gone straight up, the keeper's called for it, and he takes it, and that is the end of Dukes. Rasamene, senior man, shows how to hold his nerve under pressure.
That might be the game for the Eastern Storm. That might be the game. But then, cricket is a funny sport. It's never over until it's over. Where even the tail ender might find his mark on any given day. So it's going to be important here for the Eastern Storm to take this momentum and continue to ride it, as they've taken wicket number 7, the important wicket of Gareth Dukes.
As Musa Twala walks to the crease, he has real ability with the bat. but to walk in and do it from the word go, that's yet to be seen. Spent a bit of time at the Titans, played a little bit of cricket there for them. Has joined Mpumalanga this season. Again, 2 new batters, not ideal in this situation to walk into the crease.
Smart move for Musatwala coming to Mpumalanga Rhinos to just get more cricket as a wicket-keeper batter. Rivaldo Munsami came back with an absolute charge last season. They have Luandro Pretorius now as well, so he's here trying to get more exposure. But he has to bowl against that bowling lineup for the Storm, who've been doing well.
Musatwala is trying to take him on first ball, and it lands right between the 2 fielders. If I must be honest, it was probably Midoff's catch, that, wasn't it? Extra cover was trying to go back, and it was always heading away from him with the wind.
Next one, please.
Been a great opportunity to get wicket number 2. That would have hurt the Rhinos completely, would have devastated them. Just lack of communication, really. Do we see a mistake from the Eastern Storm in this whole game so far?
Batter's running hard, looking for that second one. It's not on. It'll see Hadman Rolfus off the mark there. First ball that he's faced. Musatwala, obviously, with his first ball, shown his intent. He's made his intentions quite clear.
Truly is nothing left though. 21 deliveries, 46 runs. Need to squat over 2 runs per ball at this moment.
Musatwala trying to flip it over the short 45 on the leg side. I think Drew Rasamena did see that and followed him offside. Ball just popping out to the right hand side of wicket-keeper Rousseau.
Just love the change up in pace there from Rasamene, rolling his fingers for that off cutter, but also the execution in that skill, still keeping the length to be outside the off stump, still full on that Yorker length, hard delivery to hit, even worse when it has no pace. It's just managing the innings now. It's all that they have to do actually, the Eastern Storm. Don't need more wickets, but if they do come, always sweet.
Short ball from Rasamene, goes down to fine leg. Batter set off, trying to get that 2. Not on this occasion. Brings the score there to 129 for 7. Last 3 overs to come. Mpumalanga Rhinos needing 14 off the over, 14.3 to be exact, of the last 3 overs to get home for victory.
Speaking about the wickets that the Storm need to get, it's 136 runs that they must restrict the Mpumalanga Rhinos to in order for them to claim that bonus point victory. That could be their one motivator now, which will see them top the log. Get these last 3 wickets for less than 9 runs to claim a bonus point.
And especially with the Mpumalanga batters being in that situation where they have to go for it now. Musatwala again trying to flip it over the 45. It was an appeal, but I'm sure it's pitching outside leg.
Just keeping the bats on their toes. So often we think, oh, LBW must be leg before wickets. Nope. Any part of the body.
But as a left arm, you need to swing it back in. They've got to pitch it on the stumps. Yeah. Musatwala tries to go big. Oh my gosh, what a catch! What a catch, beautiful. Little bit misjudged first and foremost with the wind. Realised he had to get on his bicycle. Youngster getting on his bicycle eventually and taking that catch. I say the youngster, I'm sorry, that's actually Pierce. I thought it was Marais again. Was it Marais? Really, really good catch. Held up in the wind. That's the end of Musa Twala. Goes for 3 runs.
That is a crazy catch from Devan Marais. Just when you thought that Chris Brits has shown us how it can be done, that young 19-year-old Devan Marais runs in from long off. He catches it. Oh my goodness, what a great catch. Had no right getting to that, but he does. Brings in the new batter, Akulila Mkatu. He comes in with the sink shipping. Oh, the ship sinking, and it's sinking very quickly.
It's a pity we can't get you a replay of that catch. I mean, it was absolutely world-class catch. I think initially he misjudged it a little bit. I think he thought the batter hit it a little bit better than what he did. Held up in the wind. Realised he had to really, really vickle and get some speed on it. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful catch. The Eastern's outfielding today has been really, really good. I know there was a drop catch in the first over, and there was one that was hit at about 190 k's an hour back at Similani. Other than that, they've been really, really good. As Mkatu comes to the crease, he ducks into that one a little bit, but gets off the mark to 45 there on the leg side.
They also have a run out within those series of wickets to just solidify their fantastic fielding performance. And 2 of those catches have been to die for. Gorgeous catches. Yuris Neyman had to inquire with the umpire if the catch was actually caught by Chris Brits. That stunner by Devan Marais even left the producers next door screaming off their lungs.
As Rolfus goes down the track, it goes to the keeper's end. I think a better throw would have had him in real trouble there. Mkatu coming back for the second, trying to keep Rolfus on strike.
2 batters also almost colliding as they came back for that run number 2. Throw from Pele, just missing its mark.
Rolfus goes over extra, 2 bounces into the boundary rope. Really nice shot here. Is it too little, too late though? That is the question.
40 runs needed or 36 runs needed, 13 deliveries. A boundary here keeps it alive slightly. Big one keeps it alive, really.
Really well bowled, slower delivery. I think there was a little outside edge on that, yep. Rolfus will keep the bowling at the end of that over. 17 and a half needed over the last 2 overs here.
Good business from Shabir Khan with that last ball. He knows that the team needs to score runs. And he knows that after a batter is able to get a good connection, they probably believe that they're going to get another one in this situation of the game, removing the pace completely, pushing the ball a little bit wider.
I think what is important to know, even if Easterns just win this with a normal points, they will go top of the log, but they will they'll have one another fantastic effort there at backward point. The Tuskers will have a game in hand as they're currently top of the log. Another brilliant effort there at backward point to almost the old man in the team, Shaylin Pillay, showing that he can still move like a youngster.
That was hit really hard. It was smashed like a bullet. Had to put in that dive. Reminiscent of the dropped opportunity earlier on as well from Mark Pierce. But nonetheless, the fielding is still being sharp from the Eastern Storm.
Short one from Rasameni. Akulile Mkatu can't make any contact there. Goes through to the keeper.
Ten balls remaining now. 34 runs to win. 2 wickets in hand. 2 batters having a little bit of a conversation. The problem is none of them are set. 7 balls for Rolfs. 2 balls from Katu. Where are they going to find these runs if they are to find them? Swinging. It's the name of the game.
Very well bowled Yorker there by Rasameni. Mkatu struggles to get that away. And the sand running through the hourglass here for the Rhinos. Really becoming a really tough situation here. Never say anything is impossible in cricket, but it's heading that way. I was going to say misses outside the off stump, but it was wide. Signalled there by umpire Gaz.
So I'm happy about that one, Rasamene. But the ball did pitch and move away from Nkatu. Just the leg cutter makes the ball wider than it should be.
They take a bar through to the keeper. If that had hit, that would have been the end of Rolfus. Rolfus wanting to get on strike and see if he can make a move on the game. Still 2 balls left in this over. 1 ball, my apologies.
Just 3 runs from it. Only 1 of those runs coming from the bat. It's really top tier stuff here from Andrew Rasamene.
They try and take 2. Katu's come really far down. Rasameni can feel really happy with his work today. 14 runs of his 4 overs.
Commentators, if
the dot ball to end the over. We'll need 31 off the last over. Harman Rolfus, you want to make a name for yourself? This is the time to step up, son. Yeah.
well, mathematically it's still possible, but how often do we see 30-run overs in any form of cricket, really? Especially when a team has been struggling to even go at nearly 8 runs to the over.
Ahmad Khan comes he's going to finish the innings for the Easterns.
Very tough bowler to hit 31 runs off as well, Aman Khan. It's only gone for 5 runs to the over, 15 from his 3.
Right up into the hole. Really, really well bowled. Rolf is swinging for all he's worth there, but length just really, really good there from the bowler.
It's an excellent start to this from Aman Khan. Surely he'll just want to seal it off with a wicket of his own as well.
Rolf swings that away, and it's 1 bounce for into the body. Rolf actually looks quite disappointed there, as if he wanted to get that away. He's that type of player to still 100% keep believing.
But at the end of the day, you can't help but feel like, see when it's the ship is just sailing away, and it's hard to bring it back. That first ball should have gone for a boundary to feel like they still had a chance, but now it's about damage control, I suppose. Net run rate not going too out of hand.
Again, right up in the hole. Fantastic ground fielding yet again from the Eastern Storm. They've been superb there today. Sekakuni there, extra cover. Stops that now. You get through for a single.
He's already taken a good catch, the Sekakuni, from the slips. A couple of fumbles, but he took it on its 3rd try on its way down, standing at slip. Man Khan, still economical as ever.
And Katu swings for all he's worth, goes to short 3rd. And the game's petering out here, because I think the writing is obviously on the wall. Everyone knows what is happening. Last 2 balls here.
All they need is to be legal, and it'll be game over with the Storm taking a victory.
And topping the log, playing some really, really good cricket over the last 2 weeks. Beating Northern Cape, Esvidia now the Rhinos. Another 1 in the hole. Ahmad Khan, really, really good bowling here in the death. No practice is ever wasted, coaches will tell you. So might become a time later on in the season where he needs to use that. So really, really well executed from Khan there.
It's just 1 more ball to go now for the game to come to a close. Last ball.
And it's tapped out into the leg side. Fantastic victory here by the Eastern Storm. They played the far better cricket today, and they were very, very well deserved winners. And they go top of the pops in Division 2.
Taking a 23-run victory versus the Mpumalanga Rhinos. Rhinos yet to taste a victory this season. Eastern Storm yet to face a loss. It's been an excellent start for the men of Benoni, and they continue on with their good run. It all started, that man was right at the back of the line wearing the number 66, Kabeliso Kukune, with that brilliant 40, but just wayward bowling from Mpumalanga Rhinos.
Well, you can say that. Obviously a little bit of wayward bowling. They brought it back in stages. There was a stage where I think Easterns were maybe targeting 200, if you must be honest. They were trying to target that. And then just dug themselves into a little bit of a hole that they couldn't get out of, unfortunately. Yuri Snyman tried to get them out the hole together with Yika, and there was a stage there where it was looking like they were getting out of that hole, but the pressure cooker was just unfortunately a little bit too much. Some really good bowling figures there. Andrew Rasamene, he's bowled an extremely good spell, 3.5 to the over. That you can't ask more from your senior statesman than that.
Really showed off, even with Tumelo Sumelane coming in, taking those 3 wickets. Got dropped twice, had 1 funky over, but the rest have been good. And it brings the end to this game here at Willowmoore Park, with Eastern Storm taking a 23-run victory. It was Mpumalanga Rhinos who chose to bowl first, and it was them who fell victim to another storm brought by the Easterns. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic game here, brought to you by Pitch Vision Productions and Cricket South Africa's YouTube channel. It's been myself, Mpendolo Makubane, Gordon Matheson, bringing you this commentary of this match. And we will be back again for yet another round of Division 2 fixtures this coming Wednesday, the 2nd of October. Keep yourself stay tuned on the Cricket South Africa social media pages for more information, and also keep your eyes opened to the Cricket South Africa YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button so you can get those notifications as well, so you don't miss out on the next series of fixtures. From us here at Willowmoore Park, we bid you farewell. We'll see you again next week for more CSA T20 Knockout Challenge action.